Shall we jump in then?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I've literally been waiting months for this. Y'all don't know how much I've been pestering poor Spoony about this shit.
Also, obviously, if the game is too quiet or too loud, please let me know. Curse killing.
Tatari Goroshi.
Tatari Goroshi. Long name, that's going to be hard for me to say. Shortest scenario. Curse killing chapter. Man, curse, or coincidence. How are the conjectures inside you solidifying? I look forward to whether those conjectures will waver or become a cornerstone in this scenario. The difficulty is the worst. You will probably not even be able to make conjectures. The difficulty in reading this game. I also no longer have my controller hands up. The snake in the well was happy. Oh, you say it. I usually read Burnt Castle. Do it!
The snake in the well was happy, for it did not care what was outside the well. The snake in the well was happy, for it had naught to do with what happened outside the well. And you were happy too, for you did not know what happened outside the well. Quote, Frederica Boncastel.
AD, 1983. Oh man, that faded away fast. Showa era. Okay. It was a very humid day. Not even a slight breeze was blowing. It had been an unpleasant summer, one that wasn't only hot, but swelteringly so. That's a hard word to read. So this is topical so far. There were various articles... Let me try that again. There were various articles of clothing hung out to dry in the messy apartment windows, but the lack of wind evoked an impression of far removed from coolness. In fact, it only felt more oppressive. There were crooked houses and apartment buildings lining the narrow, twisting road. In addition, there were planters and flower pots whose contents were beginning to wilt, as well as bicycles and motorcycles on the sides of the road, making it even more cramped, more oppressive, and all the more sweltering. Nobody who was in this place at this time was visiting it voluntarily. But in spite of what everyone might expect, a single motorcycle came rolling in. The lone motorcycle, which couldn't be called neat, even as flattery, oh no, pulled up to his 2-story apartment complex and stopped there. Neat! Fuck. You opened the floodgates. A man fairly old and wrinkled stepped off. When the housewife hanging out the laundry noticed him, she called out. You want to be a housewife?
Sure. Well, hello there.
Let me drink some water.
It's quite hot today again, isn't it?
I'll be the landlord. Ooh, you've got that right. I feel like I'm gonna boil out here.
Oh, right. Landlord's son.
Landlord's son.
That's his name. I didn't think that would be the first thing you said.
Ah, sorry. The fluorescent lights, right? I completely forgot.
No, not that. Don't you smell it? There's a terrible smell about. I've been smelling it since this morning.
Wait, what's this? It reeks! Did the sewers get backed up again?
Do something about it, landlord-san. I've had to keep my nose plugged all day long.
And you still look plenty lovely plugging your nose, my dear. I'm a fucking freak. There was an unhygienic drainage channel running behind the apartment. The lattice from which it flowed was stuffed with branches and fallen leaves, and when filth got caught up in them, it created an awful stench in the summertime.
Yuck. Could you tell the municipal office about it? The drain will end up buried at this rate.
Well, yikes. It's completely blocked. It'll start up if you poke it with a stick. The man crossed the fence over the drainage channel and picked up a filthy drying pole sitting nearby. He must have planned to stick it into the drain and clear it out.
Wait, landlord, stop that! Ugh. If you mix it all strange, if you do that, it'll smell terrible.
It smells if it's clogged and smells if it's mixed. Which should I choose? Okay, as somebody who... I'm not the landlord of my building, but I help the landlord a lot. In the summertime, there's like this fucking smell of death that we smell like in our hallways sometimes, and it's like we have no idea what it is. I understand this to a degree. It's like,
Gross.
It's probably like something fucking died in the ceiling and there's no way to like get it out, and we just have never found out what the fuck it is. It's like a mouse or something, or a bat. He shoved the drying pole into the filth in the lattice. Of course, it did nothing to help the accumulation of waste. That's you.
Sorry, I was just looking at chat. Why are you throwing bricks at Spoony?
Yeah.
That's mean.
That's rude. So mean to me.
That cat. This is the health center's job.
Cats and dogs smell awful when they die. I mean, everything smells awful when it dies. A bamboo pole's not going to do much good. See, there you go. You can actually do it. Garbage bags, old clothes, they throw all kinds of stuff in there. And is that a duck I see? Well, of course it stinks. The nerve of some people. I should put a brick in the pool of things you can throw at me.
Terrible.
I could just make the weight really heavy so it like throws my feet super upstream. Anyway, the drainage channel was already unsanitary. What was a little more garbage at this point? The stream of such imprudent people was never ending, and now this channel had turned into a garbage dump. When he poked the pile of old clothes floating in the sewage, a black cloud of smoke floated out in the water. The two of them grimaced at the terribly bizarre and repulsive sight. Gah, we've got maggots, eh? Someone must have thrown kitchen waste in.
Landlord? What's that?
What? Just more garbage.
Landlord, that's...
What is it? What is this funky beat? This funky Donkey Kong Country. Oh, you want to
we went through this scene. We didn't read it, just what we were testing stuff like a week ago. And I do not know why this is like Donkey Kong Country music. Oh, hello.
Oh, sorry.
Good work today.
I guess I'll be the officer. We can just do back and forth.
Yeah.
What a terrible stench! Hey! Someone cover this thing with a tarp! From the second floor of the houses, it's in full view!
Identity of the deceased unknown. Sex, female. Age estimated to be late 20s or early 30s. Time of death about 2 or 3 days ago. She was probably abandoned after death.
Naked too? Figuring out who she is will be rough. Contact the community division and ask if anyone's gone missing.
They probably weighed her down so she'd sink. Then the weights came off and she floated to the top. Why in a drainage sewer of all things? Would have been better in an underpass or in the mountains, you know?
And it would have been outside our jurisdiction, right? But it looks like they never wanted to hide the corpse at all.
They do it so she would be found? As a warning or something?
This slice in her stomach definitely wasn't from a fish eating her. She was cut open and her insides were dragged out. They really made a show out of killing her. Doesn't the Chinese mafia do these sorts of traditional punishments? Ask Shige-san in Section 4 if he's had any trouble with Yakuza.
Sir.
Still, what a terrible way to go. Hey, don't her innards poking out like that look sort of like the salad soba you got and you can get in Kyoto? Maybe if you stuck chopsticks in, noodles would pop out, see?
Please give me a break.
Her intestines were pulled out and her ears and nose cut off. That's definitely not how I want to go. Her fingers are in a bad state too. There are long nails stuck in all of them, on both hands. What kind of torture was this anyway?
Space?
Hello, Space.
You haven't missed much. We're just getting into it. Some unknown landlord and housewife woman in the landlord's apartments found a body in a drainage sewer. So
of a woman.
That's where we're at.
Or a female, as they said.
These are some fucked officers? That's officers.
That's just officers in general, yeah. The most relaxing time during the school day? Lunch for sure. Everyone brought their desks side by side like always, and we all ate together. Oh, the girls! Oh, there you are!
My, Mio-san,
If I may say, your lunch looks like quite appetizing today. I don't know what the fuck just happened to me.
There are so many different things. It's wonderful. Satoko and Rika-chan looked at Mion's lunch, shouting gladly. Satoko and Rika-chan looked at... Oh, wait. I already read that. Let's have a look. Whoa! I just packed in some leftovers from last night. All the elders were having a drinking party at my house yesterday. I managed to nab some of what they didn't eat. That's you.
They all look like snacks you could have with sake.
They're but leftover. They're but leftovers. Mere scraps of food. But when arranged in a bento box so cleanly, they look impressive. It looks like part of a full-course meal at a high-class restaurant. People seem to decide if they like things mainly based on their first impression. So I thought maybe the taste of a bento would be proportional to how pretty it was when you opened it.
You may seem unrefined, Mion-san, but you're positively splendid at arranging food like this. Her room is nice and tidy, too. Mii-chan is a lot more organized and polite than everyone thinks.
It's all the same once it's in your stomach. I've had thought Mion would say something like that, but to think she had this kind of taste. You can't judge a book by its cover. Mion was careful in everything she did. She never misstepped, faltered, or messed up. I see. She is our club president, after all. Yours is nothing to scoff at either, Rena. Your crab kamaboko flower is very pretty. You know, Rena, your lunch always has, like, an art to it. Like, it has rabbit-shaped apple slices and carrot flowers and stuff. Rena's bento wasn't all about taste. It was like, like, she always puts her heart into it or something. It wasn't just good. It made your insides all nice and warm.
Cute. It's not quite as good as Mii-chan's, but I wanted to make it really cute. Oh.
Cooking isn't about skill, it's about love. Amen, brother. In that sense, I don't even come up... Wait, in that sense, I don't even come up to your feet. Yeah, feet. Love, huh? Yeah. Just from looking at her bento, I could definitely feel that Rena put her heart and soul into making it. That's what her bento was like.
The taste isn't all that counts for the bento. How it looks also matters. I suppose you must learn from this too.
Huh. So, let's see Satoko and Rika-chan's up-and-coming bento. Whoa! Ta-da!
Huh? Yesterday, our neighbors shared some meat with us, so we ended up grilling it for our bento.
These ones, too. They had such an impact. They were bursting at the seams with grilled meat. At a glance, it was too impactful for a girl's bento, but when you thought about eating with all your friends, it brought more than enough color to the table.
I'm so jealous of these lucky motherfuckers. My packed lunches for school were like fucking cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, same. Wow, at first it looks like the kind of crude bento that a jock would eat, but there are so many different things in here, like boiled spinach and soy sauce and stewed hijiki.
Rika-chan, you're really good at this kind of unaffected cooking, huh? Yep, I think Rika-chan will make a great wife when she grows up.
I have a tight hold on my future husband. A husband for Rika-chan, huh? At first, that sounded appealing. What? You're being weird, Keiichi! It did, but felt like a married life with her would be anything but normal. I mean, like, when y'all are, like, way older, maybe you could think about that, but right now, don't. But really, everyone was amazing. They were all so young, and yet they're all capable of cooking for themselves. I would sort of cook whenever I went camping with my family, but making lunch every day was a level I definitely couldn't reach. I could only really cook in my spare time. When I thought about it like that, it really made everyone stand out more. Frankly, I respected them. Huh? I feel like maybe this doesn't only apply to other people? Come to think of it, this morning, when I was eating breakfast half asleep, I think my mom was saying something really important. With a hysteric groan, I suddenly stood up, startling everyone at once. What?
Did I not come through?
Nope.
What's wrong? Wrong? You'll make us choke if you shout like that so suddenly, you know?
There's rice coming out of your nose, Satoko.
Nasty.
I'd forgotten. all this stuff about cooking for yourself. It applied to me too. Yeah, no shit, Keiichi. My dumb son. Oh, we got the freaky music now.
Keiichi? Your mom and dad need to go to Tokyo again for business.
Yeah. Ugh, sleepy.
Your dad's mentor fell ill right before an event he was taking part in. It's a very important event and they need someone to fill in.
Well, Dad does what he has to do for his job. Choo-choo. Choo-choo.
So your dad and I, you see, we need to go to Tokyo as fast as we can to help with the event. We might have to stay there for a few days depending on what happens.
That sounds annoying. Ugh.
While we're gone, we won't be here, so you'll need to make your own meals yourself. Are you okay with that, Keiichi?
I'll be fine. Humans can do anything when they're desperate.
Is that so? That's a relief. You can at least cook rice, right? And you can make miso soup as well. Then you can just buy some side dishes and you'll have a meal.
A meal? Yeah, I can cook rice with my camping kit. Never used a rice cooker before. Making a rice cooker is so easy, dude.
I've never used one before.
It's so easy. You literally, okay. The way you make rice in a rice cooker, you just put in a cup of rice, and then however much water it says to put, and then you close it, and then you press a button. And then in a few minutes, you have rice.
That's so efficient.
Yes! I've only ever made instant miso soup that you make in a pot of boiling water, too. Well, I'll think of something. Chew, chew, chew.
If you can cook for yourself, then you don't need much money, do you?
I'm sorry, JM. I never used a rice cooker either. Then again, I can't cook. Yes, you can!
Change that.
Yes, you
Cooking
can.
is all about doing it a couple of times and making good on your promise to be a better person.
JM, can you use a microwave? Then you can use a rice cooker. That's you.
No eating out. It's too expensive. You're at the age where you should learn about cooking and personal finances now, after all.
Yep. I'll get by. No, I won't! What was I thinking? I was half asleep, and I made such crazy empty promises, just like manga characters always do at times like this. I bent over backwards and scratched furiously at my head. Scratch, scratch!
Keiichi-kun, your parents sure have it rough. Anyway, you need to keep things in order while they're gone.
Anyway, food! My parents aren't here. I have to make it all myself, you know. This is a huge emergency. Poor baby, you have to make your own food. Oh.
Should you not simply give up and cook for yourself? Keiichi-san, did you not make a fabulous curry dish for the curry party previously?
Listen here. My mom taught me how to cook that curry when we camped, and it's the best I can do. I can't eat curry 3 meals a day.
Yes, you can.
I mean, it's just junk food in the first... No, it's not. I love curry. There's no nutritional...
It's so crazy to me that curry is seen as a junk food in Japan.
No! It's just...
Because it's like such a health food over here.
It's rice and vegetables and meat. It's so good. There's no nutritional balance whatsoever, and it's just completely... It's stupid! It's just... Mion and Satoko put their hands over my mouth. Oh god! Oh no! Oh no! A moment later...
You talk shit about curry!
A moment later, the door rattled open and Chie-sensei, a known curry maniac, she's me, suddenly poked her head in. Did I just hear somebody bad-mouthing curry? No, he didn't say anything! Everyone's faces went totally white and they all shook their heads in denial. Her eyes rolled over the classroom. Her glare wasn't just a teacher's ordinary stare. Is that so? Must have been the wind.
Like a Skyrim guard.
Chie-sensei gave one more look around the classroom, then closed the door and went back to the teacher's lounge. I may have been shouting, but for her to hear it from all the way across the hall in the teacher's lounge, that teacher is terrifying. Her curry shit-talking senses were tingling. Kei-chan, you can disparage other foods all you want, but you might want to stay away from curry. At least as long as you live in Hinamizawa. Okay. I'm sorry. That's what I said, but still, I can't have curry for every meal. I can. And cup ramen is good because you only eat it once in a while. If you ate it for every meal, you'd get bored of it pretty quickly. Rice and miso soup and a good side dish. Yeah, that's what a Japanese table should look like. Yeah.
Why don't you go to Hinamizawa McDonald's? Which definitely exists in this small town.
Why can't you just try to cook for yourself? Rice you make yourself is really good.
This old man thinks it's more a pain than good. But experiencing it every once in a while might be nice.
That's right. Life is all about experiences, right?
But when you cut your fingers or burn yourself, it's so sad. So very sad.
With everyone encouraging me like this, I started to feel like maybe I could do it if I tried to. Though approximately one person didn't sound like she was encouraging me. Cooking is a skill I'll have to learn at some point, since I want to live on my own one day. Maybe learning now wouldn't be so bad. I'm pretty uneasy about it, but you're right. If I don't understand how to cook a few things around here, then I won't be in good shape the next time our club does a cooking showdown. I just want to point out, I have known so many dudes that just never learned how to cook because of, you know, toxic masculinity, and they go to, like, live on their own with a bunch of other dudes who don't know how to cook, and all they do is order pizza and microwave dinners, and they get scurvy. Learn how to cook, everyone. Eat a vegetable so you don't get scurvy. Oh ho ho. Oh, that was you.
Up down.
I'm sorry.
That clever trick of yours in the last curry contest won't work every time, after all. It's my fault for doing it lately because I was staring off into space thinking about cooking.
As if scorning me, Satoko ridicules my comeback from a hopeless situation in a certain do-or-die curry showdown. And what are you so relaxed for? You relied entirely on Rika-chan back then, didn't you? Okay, hold on. Are we referring to... We can't be referring to that curry showdown from Chapter 2. Because this is different, because Mion's alive and here, and everything's normal, and Satoko's here, and Rika's here, so this is a new fucking time loop shit. Anyway, what did you cook at the time, exactly? You put a bag of salt in Rena's curry, a bag of salt in Mion's rice, and you flipped over my pot. That all happened, though, in Chapter 2. Fuck. I relapsed into my grudge over the last curry showdown. For now, I calmed my unquellable anger by pinching Satoko's ears. Okay. Theory so far. This is... Okay. This is like... This timeline started similarly to our last one, and then, like, splintered off at some point for, like, something. I'm just gonna have to find the part where it splintered.
I love Yoma's theory.
Curry was so good they came back from the dead. Ah, I see. For now, I calmed my unquellable anger by pinching Satoko's ears.
Oh! My attack was because that's what they were doing for the club! It may not look like it, but I can do a little bit of cooking. Get off my ears!
Cal, I have a question. Can you see the incoming ad break notification? Or is that something I have?
No, I cannot, because I actually don't have these streams open to keep my PC from exploding.
Oh.
But I have the chat popped out, and I have the Discord stream to the left of it.
That's weird. The incoming ad break notification happens in the chat, though.
Oh, no, I can't see it.
I might have to turn that on, because I was modding for my friend's chat, and the incoming ad breaks were visible to me, and I could snooze them if I wanted. So I was like, what? That might be a thing I have to turn on. Anyway, did you read the line? Or I think you did.
I did.
Okay. Can you now? Even when you couldn't peel one carrot during the showdown and had to get Rika to do it. Don't be so daft.
People get better every day, you know. If you think I'll always be crummy at cooking, then you're quite mistaken. Right, Rika?
Wait, Yoma, implications about Chie's role in curry-based revival are yet to be investigated.
I have to watch or else I get worried about the pot and the flame. Sometimes you forget to turn the gas off, too.
Wahahaha! Everyone burst into laughter. That shouldn't be an issue with cooking. Even I would never do that. I've done shit like that before, but that's because I forget.
I don't want to hear that from someone who eats nothing but cup ramen. But Satoko can cook pretty well for herself, you know?
Rena, it's fine. You don't need to force yourself to cover up for her like that.
No, I'm not trying to cover for her or anything. It's just that Rika-chan's cooking is by far the best of all of us, so hers doesn't stand out. Satoko has mastered the basics too, right?
Jordan, like, oh, they're using gas stoves. That explains everything.
As you should. If you, as a person, have a choice in life between a gas stove and an electric stove, get the gas stove, because electric stoves are inferior.
In some ways.
At the very least, I can cook rice and miso soup.
My fucking gas stove lately, like, if I keep it plugged in, randomly, it'll just start doing the clicking noise, and I'm like, no. No.
That's your gas stove that's doing that?
Yeah!
That's dangerous as fuck, dog. Get someone in to look at that, please.
Yeah! I keep forgetting. I just unplug it.
Do you not use a switch to do the ignition of your oven?
It's okay, so like the knob, when you like the right next to low, it has the ignite. So you turn the knob and it does the click 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 and then it ignites and then you just turn it to like low or high or whatever you want it on.
That's crazy, because ours is you have a knob and you turn it to whatever gas mark you want, and then there's an ignition.
Oh, okay. It just clicks randomly. It started doing it during a stream, like, and I was like, "Do you guys hear that clicking?" And people were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Yeah, that's my stove." Just click, and it's like, "No."
Yeah, I understand. If gas ovens aren't available to you, then obviously you've got to do what you got to do. But if you have the choice.
Anyway.
At the very least, I can cook rice and miso soup. Well, she can't quite tell the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, though.
What do you...
Cauliflower and broccoli. There we go.
Broccoli.
They're both the same anyway once you boil them. Wrong.
No, cauliflower is not as good as broccoli.
No, cauliflower's disgusting.
Cauliflower's not great. I'm not a huge fan. I'll eat it, though. Oh, this is me. Satoko erupted into anger, making 2 fists and swinging them above her head. Everyone laughed a lot after that. Wahaha!
The others don't matter. I cannot stand being laughed by you, Keiichi-san.
Gahaha! Yes, perhaps I do lag behind everyone else in terms of cooking skill. But at least I'm confident I'd never lose to you, Satoko. Not to you, at least.
What was that? You have the gall to say you're confident. That's what's daft here. I might not seem like a good cook, but I take turns with Rika, you know. I can cook just fine for myself, thank you.
I see, I see. Good for you for being able to cook. I'll buy some candy for you as a present later. I patted Satoko on the head while I made fun of her. Satoko seemed to know I was making fun of her too, since her face went bright red very quickly, and steam started to pour out like she was a kettle.
You don't believe me, do you? Anyway, I can cook far better than you can, Keiichi-san.
I see. Then if you could tell me the difference between cauliflower and broccoli, I'll believe you. Come on, let's hear it.
The green one is broccoli. Oh, no, the yellow one. Cauliflower is blue, red, green.
Satoko, I think you're just colorblind. Come on now, what color is broccoli? Stop bullying this colorblind child. Blue, red, green, it's not a television. Come on, say it, say it. Satoko can cook just fine without knowing what color broccoli is. White. Good for you, good for you. Oh, poor baby.
Crying. Stupid Keiichi.
Oh, it was nothing to cry hysterically about. She's so goddamn cute. I stroked her head as hard as I could. Ruffle, ruffle, ruff, ruff, ruff.
If you're going to act so smug, then you can surely show us something better than Satoko.
Remarked Mion, giving me just a slightly mean smile. Actually, well, I had no confidence at all in my cooking, but the situation carried me along, and I decided to deliver an impressive declaration. Just you wait. Tonight, I will make the best darn meal you've ever seen. I'll even make a little too much and pack it for lunch tomorrow. You'll be surprised. So surprised you'll fall over.
That sounds like fun. I can't wait for lunchtime tomorrow.
Rika-chan petted me on the head. Her words of "can't wait" sounded so transparent.
Is excited too. I promise I won't laugh no matter what you make.
She lied.
Alright, so maybe I'll go all out on my bento tomorrow too. Then let's do this. Let's do this. Let's have a bento showdown tomorrow.
That's wholesome.
As a club activity, of course. And we'll throw in a punishment game too.
Don't.
That's less wholesome.
My, what an ingenious idea that is. How is that, Keiichi-san? I'll give you one chance to back down.
He's going to Costco and getting the pre-made chili. Satoko wiped her
There's worse
tears and snarled at me, as if this was her chance to turn things around. Maybe this is bad. I feel like maybe the conversation is getting pretty out of hand. Oh, if I apologize, now's my chance. But what came out of my Keiichi Maibara's mouth was a statement so reckless it even frightened me. Yeah, you're on! My bento tomorrow will knock you right out of your shoes.
Your shoes.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Everyone raised their voices in surprise at my bold, confident reply. Now I've done it. What have I done? I'm so irresponsible.
So, Mion-san, what sort of fantastic punishment game will we have to play if we lose?
Satoko grinned fearlessly, as if to say that it was already decided I'd be playing said fantastic punishment game.
Let's see.
Okay, how about this?
Whoever loses tomorrow's bento showdown during lunch break tomorrow has to go up to Chie-sensei as she's eating in the teacher's lounge and say bad things about curry.
Okay, that's not bad.
Sentenced to death, actually.
Mie-chan? That's... How terrifying.
Everyone went pale and gasped at how truly terrifying the punishment game was. Chie-sensei is such a maniac about curry that she'd risk her life for it. Me too. And to go up to her and start saying bad things about curry? What kind of fate would await us? Just trying to imagine it was scary. And as everyone looked blankly amazed at the terrifying punishment game, Rika-chan spoke.
Tomorrow's contest will be decided by skill.
Rena and Mion and Satoko, everyone nodded deeply in agreement.
Although Keiichi-san's problem might be his own dinner tonight rather than tomorrow's bento.
Ha! How disappointing that you can't witness what an amazing dinner I'm going to make tonight. I'll let you have a glimpse of it in my bento tomorrow, so look forward to it.
That is quite a lot of grandstanding. You do know what will happen if you come to us with something terrible, right?
I just can't wait how much trouble you'll be in with Chie-sensei tomorrow, Satoko. Nobody laughs like that.
Yes, I can't wait either. To see you, Keiichi-san, groveling before her and begging for forgiveness. Saying it all with tears streaming down your face. Yes, I can just see it now.
This is a sin they have to release into the river at Watanagashi, by the way. Slandering curry in Chie's presence. What was that? Yank.
No!
Stretch. Both of us, on the verge of tears, pull on each other's cheeks. Stretch!
Owie.
Trying to muster all your desperation by placing yourself in a predicament. Kei-chan, that's so manly.
Are you being sarcastic?
That isn't manly or anything of the sort. It's called being reckless. He can't even cook well. Stretch. Rena believes in you. I'm looking forward to your wonderful bento.
I'm looking forward very much to seeing Keiichi tomorrow as well.
Their expectant gazes were painful. I was just trying to tease Satoko a little. How did it come to this? Yeah, you'd better look forward to it. How am I able to say such reckless things? I'm being so unreasonable. What the heck is going to happen to my dinner? And the bento showdown tomorrow? No, more importantly, if they make me say bad things about Kurita Chie-sensei's face, what'll happen to me? Decimated. The extreme contrast between my outward bravado and my internal screaming continued as the hot and humid June afternoon dragged on.
It was just June.
It was just June 2 months ago. Or a month and a half ago. A month and a couple weeks. I don't know. That entire day. Up until school was over. The whole time! My meal tonight and my bento tomorrow were the only things on my mind. Editor's note, bento means lunch. Yeah, but bento boxes are like a specific thing, so I think they're more so referring to, you know, the little bento box.
The specific type of meal prep.
No, like, the bento box is different from a lunch box. Listen.
Yeah,
Listen.
it's a specific type of meal prep.
Yeah.
It goes in a specific type of box.
We also have bento boxes in America. We have little Tupperware that have little sectioned off, like, shit. And we call them bento boxes. It's true. And now that I thought about it, you know what is a Lunchable? A bento?
No, that's like charcuterie for babies.
I mean, it's charcuterie. But I mean, Lunchable has it sectioned off. Like each section. But-
That's not the part that makes it like
Bento?
bento, though.
What is the part that makes it bento? It being lunch?
It like the stuff you put in it. It can't just be cheese and crackers.
But why not?
Because I say so, goddammit.
Okay. Now that I thought about it, it made Mom seem amazing for planning 3 meals every day of the year. See, now you're getting what I'm saying. Okay, yeah, you know? Okay. I've complained before about having the same meal in a row once in a while, but now I know how rude that was. More importantly, what am I gonna do about the punishment game tomorrow? Besides that, what am I gonna eat tonight?
My own boyfriend betraying me in chat.
Lunchables or bento is a sick take, I agree. Awesome. Thank you. I mean, charcuterie and bento aren't, like, super, like, different. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
But they are different, because charcuterie sucks.
What do you
bento
mean?
is, like,
Don't say this blasphemy in my chat. I love charcuterie. Fuck. What?
You are the Chie-sensei of charcuterie.
No, I'm the Chie-sensei of many foods. Like, I mean,
I'm sorry. I just generally don't like the stuff that you put in a charcuterie, and I don't like having to assemble it myself. I'd rather just...
You can eat them separately. How do I big
No,
throw
I'm
cow?
sorry.
You don't like cheese? You don't
I
like...
love cheese.
You don't like cracker?
I love crackers.
You don't like lunch meat?
Not really.
Okay, that's fair. Sorry. There's also chocolate in charcuterie a lot.
Ew. Mix it all with... Because, like, you're supposed to eat it, like, little bits, and then pick a different little bit. So you're gonna fucking eat a piece of chocolate, and then go in for your lunch meat and some crackers, and then eat another piece of chocolate? No.
Have you ever had chocolate with cheese? It's good.
Fuck no. Hell no, bitch.
But no, like, speaking of the Chie-sensei of charcuterie, I do have a clip that's, like, pretty old now of me, like, screaming into the microphone. I think you were there when somebody, like, shit-talked butter chicken in my chat. I'm pretty sure you were there.
Talk butter chicken.
I grabbed my microphone and went, "What?"
I remember.
I am Chie-sensei. That is me. Alright, here's Rena.
Keiichi-kun, why are you talking about bento?
Huh? I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about charcuterie. I'm sorry.
About what to make tonight? Or about the bento showdown tomorrow?
Yoma, like, Cal, I have some cotton in a river to show you.
Damn.
She hit the mark and I couldn't find— wait, I missed what she said. Showdown. Okay. She hit the mark and I couldn't find anything to say, and my facial expression made obvious the fact that she hit the mark. I am. It's true.
For tomorrow's showdown, I think that if you do your best to make a bento, you'll be fine. There's nothing superior to a bento you tried really hard to make all by yourself.
Tomorrow's showdown is one thing, but what about dinner tonight? I might suddenly get food poisoning. I couldn't make any more bluffs. I exaggeratedly drooped my shoulders and heaved a sigh from the bottom of my gut. Rena laughed in a shrill way when she saw me do that.
Keiichi-kun, you don't have any confidence in your cooking at all, do you?
So I've been found out. Just microwave something. It's fine.
If it looks like you can't do it no matter how hard you try, you can always give Rena a call.
Really?
But only if you try really hard first, okay? You can't rely on others without first struggling yourself.
Rena seemed naive, but sometimes she was instructive. She didn't just spoil people unconditionally. Rena always seemed like an adult at these moments. If I absolutely can't do it, I'll call you. Though, the chances are extremely high.
Go for it! Yay!
Yay.
You were grandstanding so much to Satoko-chan that you have to try your best.
Hey, about Satoko, how good is she at cooking?
She's at least better than you.
That was so direct. It hit me pretty hard.
You're making fun of her a lot, too. Maybe you should have to struggle just a little, huh?
Rena, you're pretty mean.
Rena isn't all cute, all cute.
Now that I provoked Satoko that much, I couldn't just make some crummy bento. I can't believe how loose-lipped I am.
Okay, bye. Good luck. On the cooking. Show everyone that you can do it if you really try.
Yeah. I waved my hand absently in response.
Oh, but she's like 7, Jordan. It's not her fault.
I mean, when I was 7, I knew the difference between cauliflower and broccoli.
Oh, she's also got shit going on.
Yeah, that's fair. She also lives on her own with another
Please don't
child.
make fun of 7-year-olds.
I'll make fun.
Please be chill.
We can make
small ass kids.
we can make fun of fictional 7-year-olds.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm just being silly, but please don't make fun of real 7-year-olds. It's mean.
Leaving me with words of encouragement and a few pieces of super beginner advice, Rena disappeared past the trees. Alright, should we take a break?
We can take a break.
We already had an ad go, but nothing was happening. They were just talking about cooking.
Yeah.
If there was an ad that was about to pop up, like, during a serious moment, I would block it. Oh. The transition to night. Oh, this will be good background noise for a break.
If you want to leave my mic open while we go on break, because I'm probably not going to go anywhere, I can talk to chat.
Yeah, if you want. I just need to get up and stretch and drink water and stuff.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Okay.
I'll be here.
Alright, I can actually turn some music on. Back to reading. Back to reading. When will the scary shit happen? Will it happen this stream? Do you think it will, actually?
Possibly.
Good.
Maybe.
Maybe. Alright, I guess we'll find out. Fine. I'm desperate. So what? I may not know the ABCs of navigation, and I've neither a sea chart nor a compass, but still, one idiot is taking on the ocean of the great cooking age alone, and his name is Keiji Maibara. Let's go! Time to cook! My enthusiasm is peerless. If energy and recklessness was all it took, I could take over the world. However, there are plenty of things in the world that can't be achieved with resolution alone, and cooking was probably the top contender. Therefore, even if it was hastily prepared knowledge, I wanted something to help me. I made up my mind and fished through the kitchen cabinets. I was on the hunt for a cookbook. My mom would have had a few of them. For a complete amateur like me, the first thing I needed was information. Just like he who would cross the oceans needed a compass. For me, a cookbook was absolutely indispensable. Oh, here's one. Its worn out, wrinkled cover made it feel somehow reliable. Okay, as long as I've got this. It's easier to give it a shot than think about it, right? Anyone can concoct the taste of a gourmet chef as long as they have a cookbook. Cookbooks are great! And as such optimistic thoughts filled my chest... How did your thoughts fill your chest? That's not where your brain is, my brother. I flipped through the pages.
Who knows where Keiichi's brain is?
However... Whoa! It played with technical terminology like toys! I just couldn't see how to actually make things! Ah, you knew it all along, Keiichi Maibata. If anyone could make delicious food just by reading a book, then there would be no such job as a gourmet chef in the first place. First off, it calls for 3 teaspoons! But which spoon is that? They need to teach kids how to cook in school, I swear to God. They keep saying to use however much you like. How much exactly are you supposed to use? You follow your heart, Keiichi. Stop using such obscure expressions. Strain out the water in a colander. Add salt and pepper to taste. What the heck is a colander? And straight it out, like stretching? You can't stretch water droplets like me. Oh, this poor boy. This poor boy.
He's very intelligent about very specific things, like math.
No, he's not. Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's, if you remember back in chapter 1, he was the one teaching Rena and Neon how to do, like, advanced math.
And besides, how much salt and pepper is that supposed to be anyway? To be fair, I didn't know that a strainer was also called a colander until, like, maybe, like, 5 years ago.
Know that until just now.
Ooh.
I also didn't know what a colander was, but I assumed it was a straining implement from the context.
Yep, it's a strainer. Aren't there any beginner-friendly guides in here? I will hand it to Keiichi. I feel like some recipes and cookbooks assume, like, too much knowledge. But I still think people should have basic knowledge of cooking, you know? It won't do you any good to yell. Cool off, Keiichi Maibata. Think calmly. For now, I'll leave the side dish until after. And this is also 1983, where there was no internet and you couldn't look these things up. The rice is more important. Have to cook the rice or I can't start. I know a little about how to cook rice. I didn't cook it with my camping kit when camping all the time for nothing. I'll wash the rice. That should be enough water. At least he knows to wash the rice. A lot of people don't know to do that. You don't have to, but it makes your rice really starchy if you don't. And which switch is it? Is it this button? Oh, the lamp turned on. Yeah, fully automatic rice cookers are one of the 3 sacred treasures after all. Now pleased by the rice cooker set, I pulled myself together and decided to take on the miso soup next. That's easy as shit, dude. The miso soup I made at day camp was all the instant kind after all. Well, it would be fine if I just melted the miso into hot water, no doubt. I'll boil the water and put it in the miso. Huh? How much should I put in? A little bit. Let's see here. Use the proper amount according to the number of people and your taste? Enough with the vague expressions! Fine. Then I'll put in the proper amount. I crushed the bag of...
Here. It pisses me off when recipes are like, to taste or to how many people. Okay, different people eat different amounts of food.
Yeah. I crushed the bag of miso in my fist and put half of its contents into the pot. Oh, whoops. I clicked off and clicked the play button on my stream page. I crushed... Okay, contents into the pot. Was this really okay? Maybe this is a little too hearty? They do say miso soup is best when it tastes strong. Come to think of it, my mom's miso soup is a little thin. Maybe I'll like it better with this much in it. I said it aloud as if trying to convince myself. Then convinced by my own words, I nodded to myself. Alright, the rice and miso soup are probably fine. Next, the side dish. But what should I make? Something I could make that would add color to the meal? Some vegetables. That's it. Why don't I stir some- Yay! I was right! Stir fry some vegetables. You can eat vegetables raw,
Some
too.
Baja Blast. Put it in the bento.
No Baja Blast in the bento. They won't die just from a little bit of fire. I was so cute then. Not realizing that the level of my thoughts had fallen from what would look great in a meal to what would be easy to make. There were quite a few vegetables in the refrigerator. What kind of vegetables go in a stir fry? Any! All!
Literally any.
Bean sprouts? Yes. Add those last, though. Cabbage? Yes. Chives? Yes. But add that last two. Onions? Yes. Can you put cucumbers and No! Not literally
I
any.
guess you could.
You
but,
could, but cooked cucumber...
Nasty.
Cooked lettuce? No. For now, I grabbed a nearby cutting board, cut them into chunks, and tossed them into a wok. This has gotten pretty exciting. It's the true worth of men's cooking. Hey, this is actually getting kind of fun. All of a sudden, there was a pile of vegetables in the wok. All right, next is the salad oil. So fucking... I'm just remembering a joke, and I can't remember the exact contents of the joke, but like the punchline was the wok left.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Glug glug glug.
Also, glug 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 for oil? No.
No,
It should be spritz. Spritz.
No, you can put a little blip with the salad oil. It'd be more exciting if I fill.
No.
Oh no! What is this music?
You've changed the music.
I somehow
How did
did.
you do that?
There we go. Okay. It'd be more exciting if I filled it to the brim. Whoops. Bit leaked out. Well, no point in worrying about something so minor. Minor! The great Keiichi Maibata's cooking is exciting. Oh, buddy. Okay, let's turn on the heat. Boop. You're gonna burn your fucking house down, dude. Whoosh, the salad oil filling the wok to the brim caught fire and flames reached up to the sky. Yeah, brother. Amazing! Maybe I can be an iron chef too. What if I'm really good at cooking with fire? No. Those words were spoken by delusion. I was saying something outrageously careless, but when the words came out, they sort of convinced me. Yes, I am an iron chef. Ah! Right as the crazy pillar of flame started to burn the ceiling, I finally realized that the fabulous cooking before my eyes had culminated into an actually life-threatening disaster. Wait, what? Could I have been doing something insane? The force of the flame grew stronger and stronger. Wait, what? What? Oh, Sato.
Doing?
Oh, you got half that cut off. Aw.
What in the world are you doing? You must stop the flames this instant.
Kerthwack! Somebody forcefully struck me in the back of the head. Why are you in my house? When I turned around to see what was going on, to my surprise, I saw Satoko and Rika-chan there.
Judgmental children.
Satoko! Rika-chan! As I stood in wonder at their unexpected entrance, Satoko shoved me out of the way and turned off the gas. Then Rika-chan got a towel, soaked it in water, spread it out, and placed it over the pot. She continued to soak more towels and put a second on, then a third. Once a whole bunch were piled on, the fire finally stopped. All of it had happened in a few moments. Having avoided a huge fire by a hair's breadth, the three of us gasped for air. Wait, what are you doing in my house? You're trespassing on private property.
Yes, Keiichi-san, you've been caught red-handed in the act of arson. It was just about to turn into a huge building fire, wasn't it?
It would be very, very sad if Keiichi was homeless after this.
And after pretending to be an iron chef, I finally began to take in the situation. So that was really about... That was really about to set the house on fire. Yes!
Is that not obvious? Just look at it. The ceiling is all sooty, is it not? Chimneys are the only things that should be sooty.
Satoko was seriously mad at me. Maybe they saved my life. They sure did. According to what they said, I was so absorbed in my fiery cooking that I hadn't noticed when Satoko and Rika-chan rang the doorbell. But they could tell someone was home, so they came in to check. Thank goodness they did.
if Satoko and I hadn't come, the fire engines would have been going wee-oo right now.
Keiichi-san, do you understand how serious this was?
At some point, I had sat down on my knees as I listened obediently. I'm sorry. You two saved my life.
We thought we would come and see what a fabulous dinner you made. But as we thought, it's a mess. At this rate, we won't even need to look at your bento.
You're mean. So you and Rika-chan came all this way just to see what I'd make for dinner?
Being mean saved your house and your life. Is that not something to take to heart?
Yes, I'm sorry, Satoko. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Satoko-san.
At this point, having shown them such a disaster, I couldn't exactly make any more bluffs. I completely surrendered.
And yet you tried really hard on the curry. Where did the Keiichi-san from back then go? Jeez.
I had all our underclassmen help me then and just borrowed entire pots from the other teams. I didn't really cook anything.
Keiichi-san, you cheated? Jeez, you might have been doing what our club usually does, but that's terrible.
Pouring salt into the other team's pots seemed far more terrible to me. But Satoko was in control right now, so I couldn't respond. I obediently hang my head to her.
By the way, Keiichi-san, this terrible pot. This wasn't supposed to be miso soup, was it?
Satoko stared at the pot, totally full of miso with an awful expression. So I really did get the amount wrong. Judging by the look on Satoko's face, whatever was in the pot couldn't be called miso anymore. Forget the miso soup. The rice should be cooked just fine. Rice cookers these days are pretty convenient. It should be just about done.
It's not cooked. See? The inside is still all watery.
What? But I switched it on and the little light came on.
Keiichi-san, the button you pushed was the timer button, okay? It's set for breakfast, so it won't turn on until tomorrow morning.
Ah! It's raw! So then, what? In the end, it doesn't even matter. I don't have a side dish or miso soup or even rice. I couldn't make anything myself.
You're right.
It always cuts you out when you do a laugh or a scream or a cry. Or...
I will lower my pitch. Oh ho 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 ho. It serves you right. So, have you finally realized your place? Come, admit it. Say it, Keiichi Mayabara, and I'll bark at a much crummier cook than Satoko Hojo-san.
Nah! I'm a terrible person and a crummier cook than Satoko. I beg your forgiveness. I fainted in agony. Did you really? Rika-chan pat my head, satisfied at the sight, and Satoko laughed loudly in triumph. I've completely lost. In the end, it doesn't even matter. I talked big, but couldn't make a single dish adequately. At this rate, I'll go without dinner. And tomorrow morning, no breakfast and no bento for lunch either. I didn't know how many days it would be before my parents returned, but at this rate, without a doubt, I'll starve to death.
Me.
Of course, I'll have no bento tomorrow either.
Me.
And I'm sure to get the punishment game tomorrow.
Me.
Rika-chan kept on patting my head with a smile on her face that couldn't possibly get any bigger. Satoko, completely appalled at how unsightly I looked, heaved a heavy sigh.
So pathetic, aren't they? Come on. Please move yourself out of the way.
He's not an adult man, he is a boy.
I guess to her, he's an adult.
Yeah, that's true. As I sobbed like a... yeah, I am so sexist. As I sobbed like a girl, Satoko, displeased, brushed me aside, dumped the remains of the miso soup into the sink tidy, then began to rinse out the pot. Don't worry about it, Satoko. I can at least clean up after my own mess, can you? I couldn't have Satoko clean up the cooking utensils I'd made a mess of, but when I tried to stop her, Rika-chan pulled on my clothes.
Keiichi, You can just be silent and watch.
She grinned as she said it. But be quiet and watch. What are you saying, Rika-chan?
She meant just what she said. Keiichi-san, just be quiet and leave this to me.
Satoko turned around and declared, seeming bothered, as if to say that amateurs should keep their hands off. Her annoyed expression was a little scary. Leave what to you? Satoko didn't answer. Instead, leave what to you? Satoko didn't answer. Instead, she spun around and began to rifle through the pots in the refrigerator. Hey, wait, don't mess with them too much. If you turn the place inside out, my mom might get mad at me later. You put soot on the ceiling.
Would you just be quiet already? Men aren't supposed to enter the kitchen. Rika! Sorry for the sexism.
Misandry moments.
Aye, aye, sir.
Satoko snapped her fingers, and Rika-chan got on her tiptoes, grabbed me by the back of my neck, and started dragging me away. Ah! Oh! Leaving Satoko alone in the kitchen, Rika-chan dragged me back into the living room. Hey, stop! Rika-chan, let me go already! If we leave it to Satoko, the kitchen will be a disaster! Can I press space to advance, actually?
Satoko came to see how she beat you today.
What?
Oh, that it gets rid of the so you can see the character art in the background.
Can I press enter to advance? There we go.
It's her revenge.
Revenge? Come to think of it, her face looked kinda grim. Eventually, from the kitchen, there was the sound of a faucet being twisted and a stove dial being turned. I began to hear the nostalgic sounds that made me envision dinner time. The refrigerator opening and closing, ingredients being cut on the chopping board. What did that mean? Was she cooking? Yeah, that's what that means, dumb fuck.
Keiichi made fun of her quite a lot. Satoko wanted to show you that she can cook proper meals, too.
Just listening to it like this, there haven't been any sounds of blood spilling or bursting or explosions. At this point, at least, she had proven she was a more skillful cook than me. In the cooking showdown with Satoko Hojo versus Keiichi Maibara, it looked like victory had already been decided. I recalled Satoko's slightly annoyed expression from before. I was making fun of Satoko too much today, wasn't I? Is she holding a grudge? We were just provoking each other with our usual back and forth. But I also think I maybe overdid it. At the very least, I shouldn't have made fun of Satoko, who could cook for herself when I'd never cooked other than for recreation before.
Satoko isn't holding very much of a grudge.
But she came all the way to my house and pushed her way in. She's gotta be mad. I quietly took a peek into the kitchen. She definitely looked different than the usual bird-brained Satoko. Her eyes were sharp and her movements were brisk to the point where it was a little scary. Then she must have noticed me, because she turned around and shot me an annoyed glare. I cringed in fear and hastily pulled my head back out. She's mad. She's totally mad. How will she take revenge on me?
That's just Satoko being serious because she doesn't want to fail. She isn't angry or anything.
How can you say she isn't angry? I've never seen Satoko be this frightening.
Keiichi-san, I can hear that, you know.
Sorry! I jumped at Satoko's angry outburst and faced towards the kitchen. Felt exactly like a kid who had done something bad and gotten called to the teacher's lounge.
Where do you keep the miso? The refrigerator's so big that I can't see any of it anywhere.
I'm sorry. The miso it's on the middle shelf in the fridge and at the back left of the lower rack.
What is this? You need to close the miso package after you finish with it. It's getting the inside of the refrigerator dirty, isn't it?
I'm sorry. Before I can look for something to wipe it with, Satoko wiped it off with a wet dish towel.
I swear. How are men so bad at cleaning up after themselves? I shudder to think that you'll become an adult like this.
Ugh. I couldn't talk back to Satoko today. The only thing I could do was obediently lower my head and apologize. As Satoko nitpicked and I apologized, a good smell began to fill the kitchen.
This is how you prepare the miso for the soup. You scoop a little out with the ladle and break it up with chopsticks. It's important to add a little at a time and keep tasting it. Dumping the entire thing into the pot is absolutely outrageous.
I'm sorry. I never paid attention in home ec class. You had home ec and you didn't learn how to cook? Brother.
You're pathetic!
You are. I agree.
I swear. Men! Grumble, grumble.
Misandry moments. I cowered at her annoyed-sounding muttering. But looking at her like this, she seemed quite good at cooking. It had just been overshadowed by Rena's and Rika-chan's artistic abilities. Satoko's skills were clearly enough to get passing marks.
Hey, if you have time to zone out like that, then you can go set the table. Rika and I will be eating too, so set 3 plates.
On it! I hastily took a 3 people's worth of dishes and such from the cabinets and headed to the dining room. When I returned there, I could hear laughter from a variety show on the television. Rika-chan was sprawled out on the couch, watching television and relaxing. When she noticed me putting the dishes out on the table, she came scampering up.
Creature.
Creature.
Dinner time is soon. Dinner at Keiichi's house. What does Nippa mean? Nippa.
This is iconic Rika fare. Nipa. Everyone in the chat say Nipa.
Nippa.
What does that mean?
It's just a noise.
Nippa.
Sorry. Rika-chan, you're in a good mood. That's a pretty big difference from
A
Satoko.
Nipah virus infection
Oh,
is a
no.
viral
Oh my God.
infection
Jordan,
caused
were you
by the
ready?
Nipah virus. Symptoms from infection vary from none to fever, cough, headache, shortness of breath, and confusion. This may worsen into a coma over a day or two, and 50 to 75% of those infected die.
Nippa! Sorry, I had to wait till Moonpie was done.
Satoko isn't in a bad mood at all. She's enjoying herself more than she has in a long time.
Enjoying herself? Seriously?
She's like how she was when her Nini was with her.
Oh,
Yeah, Nini.
like older brother, right? Or little brother.
Yeah, Nissan.
Okay, Nissan. Okay.
Onisan.
It really has been a long time since I've seen Satoko look like she was having so much fun.
Nini? What the heck is a Nini? Is it a sound cats make?
Nini means brother. Editor's note. Translator's note. Nini means brother. Satoko's older brother.
Satoko's older brother.
He's named Satoshi. Haven't you heard his name before?
Satoshi. Satoshi Hojo? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. At least he didn't go to our school. He did. Satoshi, huh? Satoko's older brother. Satoko's big keikaku. That's the first time I've heard of him. She had a brother, huh? I didn't know that.
She does have one.
Saying that, Rika-chan grinned even more brightly and went, Nippa! Again.
Nipa.
I love how you got cut out for that one.
Nipa.
When Satoko was with Satoshi, she always looked like she was having fun, just like this. It really has been a long time since I've seen Satoko enjoying herself this much.
However I looked at it, she seemed to be in a bad mood. But her good friend Rika-chan was saying that it was actually the opposite. Is she really enjoying herself?
She must be remembering the time she spent with her Nini. It's nostalgic.
Nostalgic? Huh. Then does he live apart from Satoko? Maybe Satoko's older brother, Satoshi, is actually a lot older than her? He must have gone off on his own and was living by himself far away. Satoko seems like she got along well with Satoshi, this Satoshi person.
She did. The two of them got along very well.
She spread her arms wide to demonstrate the width of how well they got along. That's cute. According to Rika-chan, Satoko supported her docile, slightly unreliable older brother through nagging. That was their relationship. I see. That certainly applied to the current situation. We had me, unreliable, unable to cook even a single dish properly, and Satoko, who redid it while scolding me. Could Satoko have been getting a glimpse of her brother, who now lived far away through me? So, she would always nitpick whatever Satoshi did, but she firmly supported him and they got along well. Chat, do you have a favorite thing to cook or prepare?
Cottage pie.
Ooh, hell yeah. Oh man, I love making pad thai. I love making pad thai so much. It's so good. I think that's my favorite thing to cook. That and there are these shredded chicken sandwiches. I'm sorry to make everybody hungry. Spicy shredded chicken sandwiches that I made through HelloFresh that I really liked. So
Not sponsored by HelloFresh.
I just kept the recipe and I continued to make them. I call them T-Pain chicken sandwiches because it was apparently a recipe from T-Pain.
Nice.
Spicy chicken sandwiches, slice of tomato on that shit, and it comes like you also make coleslaw, but with bits of pineapple. It's so fucking good, dude. Oh! I love it. Anyway,
Today she was the one. Nippa.
oh, wrong button.
She suggested we should go to Keiichi's house.
She said there's no way the unreliable Keiichi-san could possibly make dinner. We need to go make it for him. Then she didn't come here to get revenge or to get even or anything like that.
She couldn't leave you alone. Even now, Satoko is a proper little sister.
I was an only child. I didn't know how it felt to have siblings. Of course, I've never had a little sister like Satoko, but I felt that in this moment I was an older brother, obediently and helplessly being looked after by her, without any teasing or messing around. I'm going to give thanks for her trouble. That's what I honestly thought.
Keiichi-san, do you know what on earth the ladle is?
Sorry. The ladle should be in the drawer to your right. I ran into the kitchen, got the ladle out of the drawer, and offered it to Satoko.
It's all done. Have you put the bowls and things out?
Yeah, everything's A-okay.
Then let us have our meal. Rika! It's time for dinner!
Me. Nippa.
I heard Rika-chan's effervescent voice coming from the dining room. Satoko turned off the gas flame on the stove and lifted up the pot of miso soup.
Could you bring the rice cooker, Keiichi-san? Be careful not to flip it over, alright?
Right. I'll be careful. I can carry rice cookers just fine without being warned about it. I thought about replying like that, but I decided not to. No mean words or witty retorts for today. Yes. Rice with steam billowing from it, and miso soup, as well as a handful of side dishes. On the table was a truly firm, family-oriented dinner. It wasn't weird at all, or extravagant. Also, I want to see what people said about their favorite dishes to prepare. This barely counts, but I really like marinating then slowly cooking a roast with a bunch of veggies thrown in there. No, that counts. That's awesome. Recipe known as spaghetti pie. I don't think that sounds gross at all. That sounds like a casserole to me. It sounds good. It wasn't weird at all or extravagant. It was a daily meal, the sort of a housewife would make. It was very nonchalant and brimming with liveliness. Oh, let us eat. Let us eat. Oh, I can't do that at the same time. Itadakimasu! At Satoko's command, Rika-chan and I both thanked her in a loud voice.
CG.
I made light of you, Satoko.
Look at her little fang.
I love little fangs. That's why I have one. You've beaten me soundly.
Do you have a better opinion of me now? I may still not be as good as Rika or Rena-san, but I can cook far better than the helpless Keiichi-san.
Yeah, I know better now. After I honestly admitted my defeat, Satoko's expression finally softened, and she laughed with her normally loud and cheerful voice. Oh, the rice is cooked really well. Though she used the rice cooker, it tasted a little different from the rice my mom made. Maybe she used a different amount of water for it. Even so, I could feel Satoko's personality from the rice, which made it taste better than usual. You put love into the rice! The miso soup was a little on the thick side, but it was still delicious. The side dishes, while not exactly flashy, tasted great as well. It was also appetizing, and I couldn't stop eating. The side dishes are well done too. Satoko, you're not a bad cook at all. gave my honest impression without a hint of sarcasm. Satoko seemed to have been expecting some, because when I praised her so honestly, she got flustered instead.
Your praise honors me, but it's nothing so grand. The side dishes are just things I bought from the store and heated up. This and this, all I did was open the can. I can only really make rice and miso soup myself.
Satoko said, embarrassed, her face a bit flushed. There was none of her normal verbal abuse or sarcasm in there either.
I can't make anything except rice and miso soup, but when you get ready-made side dishes and put them on the table too, it turns into something fairly splendid.
True. My mom uses ready-made side dishes and canned goods too. It's nothing to be so embarrassed about. This is a fantastic dinner. I gave her honest praise. I almost read that as hornet, and I'm like, no, that's not that word. Hornet instead of honest. I've never met...
I give her hornet praise.
Hornet praise. Praise the hornet. I've never met Satoko's brother, but Satoshi would probably praise her in the same way.
Well, I suppose it's enough now that you've come to realize that I can hold my own in the kitchen. Would you like seconds? There's plenty of miso soup still left.
Huh? Did that brat just awkwardly change the subject? When I realized my response had been on the mark, it made me a little happy.
When we eat rice like this, it's fun. Like we're eating with Satoshi.
Rika-chan mentioned Satoko's older brother's name again. Satoko's chopsticks paused, and she looked up at the ceiling.
How nostalgic. I wonder what he could be doing right now.
She had a faraway smile, as if yearning for a friend who had moved away. From how it looked, I got the impression that she hadn't seen Satoshi in quite some time. Did we find out, like in one of the past chapters, that Satoshi was one of the ones that went missing?
One year, he just kind of left, and everyone assumed that he hopped a train somewhere.
I see, okay. I couldn't remember if he was one of the people who allegedly got demoned away.
Nobody knows where he went.
Nobody knows where he went. Satoko realized I was giving her a blank stare.
I do apologize. Satoshi is my Nini. No. My older brother, my Oni-san.
Oh, okay. I see. Nini must have been a nickname only Satoko used for him. It was funny to see her hastily deny it.
Surprised a person with so few living skills had the ability to run away. Well, I'm sure he'll pack up shop at some point and return out of the blue.
So he ran away. There was another story to what Satoko had said so cheerfully. The reason for Satoshi not living with her was a little serious. Everyone had been talking about it in such an upbeat way, so I continued to talk about him. Should I not have broached the subject at all? I hastily took a look at Satoko's face after thinking of that, but there was no trace of the gloomy expression I'd been worrying about.
To be dreaming of living on his own. Nini won't be able to do it for long anyway. He has no endurance.
Satoshi may not look like it, but he's a very persevering person. He's a lot more persevering than you think.
Rika, you always take Nini's side right away. You're a little too nice to him.
Satoko is just too harsh on Nini. You should treat him more kindly when he comes back.
Satoko and Rika-chan's views regarding Nini, aka Satoshi, were parallel to each other, but I could easily tell that both of them really liked him. They were so optimistic too, even though he had run away from them. It was like they were going to see him again next week. Satoko and Rika-chan both liked Satoshi even now, and waited for him, believing he would surely return. I've never met him, but I know for sure that this Satoshi person was a really good guy. I had thought Satoko would be deeply hurt by her brother running away, but she had already overcome that. She was still being the energetic little sister, always full of vim and vigor, and if to say that her brother could come back at any time he liked. As if to say. I thought that Satoko didn't think through anything, and just frolicked and played practical jokes every day, and that was it. But she was really... yeah.
Why are you petting my head?
I roughly rubbed a hand through Satoko's hair. I misunderstood you, Satoko. I didn't know you were this level-headed. Satoko seemed to think I was making fun of her, and tried to bat away my hand, but then she saw that there wasn't even a trace of malice on my face, and obediently granted me her head. Satoko's level-headed. She sure is.
I've been level-headed from the start. I was just playing pranks on you because you always did it to me.
There's her usual provocation, but I decided not to buy into it today. You're right. You were just doing it to go along with me. But you really were so level-headed. Good for you.
Is that actually a compliment? It kind of seems like you're making fun of me.
I'm not trying to make fun of you at all. I'm seriously complimenting you. Because if I was making fun of you, Rika-chan would be petting your head too.
That's right, isn't it? When Rika makes fun of people, she usually pets their head.
Me. These canned sardines are delicious.
I love sardines. I know a lot of people don't.
I've never had them.
They're just really salty fish. I mean, I might be thinking of...
delicious.
I might be thinking of anchovies, actually. I think they're pretty similar. I don't know. I actually don't know. But Rika-chan went, Nippa! And her smile became even brighter. Her attitude was clear as day, but it was annoyingly cute, so both Satoko and I suddenly burst into laughter. That laughter lightened up the table. The table itself is so dull and simple that I never even thought people could be laughing like this around it. And then I finally came to realize something really obvious. Dinner is better if you're laughing while you're eating, huh? Yep, absolutely. Oh.
Shit, the fuck out of here. I'm not a mod view, goddammit.
That's probably why you didn't see the ads.
Maybe. I hate that, like, it's so hard to get to the fucking mod settings.
It's fine, I took care of it.
Okay.
Of course it is. Laughing makes it taste better.
It's true.
How rude! The food is good because I'm a good cook, obviously.
Oh, sorry. This harmonious moment.
You laugh like a weirdo.
This happy circle. It was completely different than spending time with family, but still somehow nostalgic. Satoko, do you want to see Nini?
I didn't say Nini. Call him my brother, please.
Hey, wait. You've been saying Nini this, Nini that this whole time. I grinned wryly and decided to just call him brother like she told me to. Satoko, do you want to see your brother? Rika-chan stopped eating, then looked back and forth between my face and Satoko's. Satoko was smiling. She looked like she was trying to choose her words. Just from that, Satoko conveyed her feelings. Honestly, she wished he would come home right now. But she wasn't that weak. Satoshi could just do what he wanted until he was satisfied. In return, she'd let him have the scolding of his lifetime, and then she'd have dinner with him and lay out his futon for him.
Well, of course I want to see him again. It's been almost a year.
It's been that long already. Rika-chan smiled thinly, her eyes appearing to look far away.
Well, Nini can do what he wants. It'd lighten my load if he came back with more muscles and knowing how to do housework, of course.
See? You said Nini again.
You said it.
I did not. I would never call Nini Nini.
Nini.
Things rapidly returned to the usual lively atmosphere of lunchtime at school, but nothing changed about Satoko's feelings toward her brother. She was living so bravely and so strongly. Hey, Satoshi, your sister is trying so hard to watch the place while you're gone, isn't she? Give it a rest and come back soon, got it?
That was sudden.
Satoko, it's time to clean up, or else we will get sleepy.
It was when we were all watching TV while enjoying some tea after dinner. Rika-chan let out a big yawn and then spoke. Satoko and I both then looked at the clock and noticed how late it had gotten. No, perhaps we both realized it already. We just didn't want this warm moment to end. Maybe we didn't want to say anything.
Not do. I still haven't washed the dishes yet.
Don't worry about it. I can do that much at least. You made a great dinner, so I can't let you do the dishes too.
Are you sure you'll be alright? When people who are not used to try and wash them, the soap can make the dishes slip out of their hands, you know.
Geez, she's turned into a perfect nagging little sister. It was charming and awkward. Emotions like that were all mixed up inside me. I gave her a vague, dry smile.
Keiichi can at least wash dishes. If you break one and hurt yourself, I'll give you pettings at school tomorrow. Nippa!
Rika-chan yawned again so wide you could see her molars. God.
Is it really alright? Keiichi-san is pretty unreliable despite how he looks.
Give me a break. Looks like Keiichi's approval ratings have plummeted in Satoko's mind. Don't worry, I'll clean those dishes up, no problem. So don't worry about it and go home. Actually, at this hour, I can't let you two go home by yourselves. I'll take you there. Let me find the key for my bike.
Once you've taken us home, Keiichi-san will be the one going home by himself. You'll be in big trouble if you get lost on the roads at night and end up in Takatsudo. There's no houses or lights out there at all.
I was trying to worry about them going home, but I didn't think they'd be worried about me getting lost. Am I really that unreliable? She really is being critical, but yeah. This feeling I have, it's not bad. So I ended up not needing to escort them. I saw off Satoko and Rika-chan to the gate. Thanks a lot for today. Thanks to you, I got a good cultural dinner. Cultural.
If Satoko hadn't come, Keiichi would be growling and yowling right now. And dead because of the fire.
Truly. It's really good that we came.
They really saved me. I gave them another bow filled with gratitude.
Oh, yes. I put the rice and side dishes into a container, so use that for your bento tomorrow. And for breakfast, you can eat some bread and jam. Strawberry jam and peanut butter were in your refrigerator on the middle shelf to the right. Cocoa powder, too, was in the upper right door of the cupboard.
I know all that. You don't have to go into detail. I was about to say that, but I decided to humbly listen to her. It was then that I finally realized that Satoko, who had appeared to be in a bad mood, was in fact in a great one, just like Rika-chan had said. And that though she nagged a lot, she was very kind. It means she loves you.
And good night.
Make sure to brush your teeth before you go to bed. You have to do it for at least 5 minutes.
I got it, Satoko. I'll brush my teeth and make breakfast for her tomorrow. I'll be sure not to forget the bento.
You need to wake up earlier than usual. You won't be able to get your breakfast and bento ready, got it? If you like, I can give you a call a little earlier to wake you up instead of using your alarm clock.
You don't have to go that far. I'll set my alarm clock to wake me up a little early. Thanks for being so concerned about me. Satoko looked like she had more fault-finding to do, but she stopped and, leaving me with a good night, got on her bike and disappeared down the nighttime road. Rika-chan went to do the same, but then remembered something and came back. What's wrong, Rika-chan? Did you forget something?
Keiichi, you get 100 points for today. Clap, clap, clap.
Rika-chan suddenly complimented me. She clapped her small hands. What was she on about? I didn't do anything worthy of praise, did I? I nearly burned down the house, after all.
Satoko probably felt like her Nini had come home. I think she was having a lot of fun. Once in a while, I want you to go along with Satoko's scolding in the future.
Are you telling me to be like an older brother that she can scold instead of Satoshi? Rika-chan didn't say anything. She just smiled and went all,
Nippa!
Nippa!
And then her head turned into the moon. The Satoshi person. He has such a great little sister, so what was he unhappy about? If I were Satoshi, I would never have run away from home.
Satoshi had his own circumstances, I'm sure.
I didn't know what he was unhappy with, but whatever the reason, it was no excuse for abandoning Satoko. I hope he comes back soon. I probably can't play the role of her actual Nini forever, you know?
It's okay. You were just like Satoshi today. Please do it again sometime.
If that's what would make Satoko happy, I'd take on this easy role whenever I needed to.
Rika!
Satoko stopped her bike under a distant exterior light and called out to her friend, who wasn't coming no matter how long she waited.
Okay, I have to go. Good night.
Yeah, night.
I can't replace Satoshi, but Keiichi could do it. That's one less piece of baggage I need to shoulder.
Leaving me with that, Rika-chan sped off on her bike. She rode up next to Satoko, and then the two of them disappeared in the blink of an eye. Satoshi, seriously, come back soon, got it? If you come home really late, I'll punch you right in the nose. Let's try our best until that day comes, Satoko. Even if I could no longer hear the sounds of their bicycles, I stood there for a while, seeing them off. And then the horrors.
That was sweet.
That was sweet. Like, normally I'm so annoyed by, like, the opening, like, scenes and stuff in this game. But that was a really sweet one. Okay, is this a tip?
Forgot I should look up the rec. Which ones are necessary?
You're on fire! Attempted cooking. That's cute. Oh, man. Well, can't wait till they both die in a horrible way or something. I guess we'll see what awaits in this chapter.
Sorry, I'm just like skimming this tip.
Satoko's trap course. Oh, oh. Sounds like Epcot music. I'm sorry. Sounds like I'm in the...
This isn't hugely important. It's just like Satoko setting up traps because this is her thing.
That's her thing. All right, let's see. Yeah. Close. All right, let's continue. We could probably try to fit in one more chapter, perhaps.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
I wish we could go forever.
I wish my voice would allow me to do that. Oh, Mion! I love her. I love doing her voice.
Okay.
Oh, okay, Mion. Advance! Okay.
Anyway,
Fucking... Why isn't the enter? Okay.
lunchtime has finally arrived.
Mion gleefully announced the beginning of lunch.
Oh my god.
You good?
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Lunchtime at last. Someone here will have to play the punishment game, yes? I just slapped the shit out of my keyboard.
Whoops!
Oh. The punishment this time, it's a little scary, so... Sorry, but Rena went all out on making her bento.
In Rena's case, I don't think she'd lose even if she wasn't taking it seriously.
We tried our hardest too. Satoko and Rika-chan made separate lunches today? Usually you have the same bento, but that won't do for the showdown today, will it?
Yes. It's quite alright. Rika and I made sure to make separate ones. Wow, Satoko-chan and Rika-chan both tried really hard. How exciting.
What's a little surprising is that Kei-chan was able to make a bento. Good job, Kei-chan. It looks like you really can do it if you try.
Scratched my head and gave her a dry smile. My bento today had been made entirely by Satoko last night. It had none of my personality, so there wasn't anything there that they could praise me for.
What does Keiichi-kun's bento look like? Hello, I can't wait to see.
Don't expect too much. It's just the leftover rice and side dishes from last night.
Leftovers are the foundation of bentos.
Ho ho, now we'll know your dinner last night too. We'll kill two birds with one stone.
Was it really better to hide the fact that Satoko came over and made dinner last night? Well, of course it was. If I revealed that I didn't make my own bento, I'd be sure to end up playing the punishment game. Today's punishment game was to stand right in front of the curry maniac, Chie-sensei, and say bad things about curry. It wasn't too different from telling someone to jump out of a 100-story window. It was exactly the same as telling someone to die.
But me-chan? How would we decide who wins and loses the bento showdown? Keiichi-kun made his own too, so maybe we should call it a draw for today? We could do that. The punishment game yesterday was sort of a whip to encourage Keiichi-san to cook for himself after all.
And he didn't. He almost set his house on fire.
And Keiichi made his own too, so it's a draw.
My simple bento with last night's leftovers could never have stood up to everyone else's bento that they made to win. I fully understood Satoko and Rika-chan's concern for me as they tried to end the showdown peaceably. However, the club president Mion Sonozaki would not be convinced by something like that.
I wonder why you're all so optimistic. Leaving one of our showdowns is such a gray area is out of the question. In such a great area. Now that we've clashed, we must settle the score. Reconciling with a draw only happens in the Yakuza world.
You would know about that, wouldn't you, Mion Sonozaki? I knew you'd say that. There's no way you'd end it that way with your battle lust. This was bad. At this rate, I was sure to be the sole loser. But well, I didn't make this bento after all. Maybe I need to resign myself to an inevitable loss.
Okay, me. How are we going to decide who wins? It won't be fair if we grade each other's. Let's do an open judgment. Okay, everyone, assemble!
Mion commanded everyone who had just started eating using her club president voice.
Come and judge our 5 bento. Write your favorite 3 on a piece of paper and submit it. Understand?
Everyone in the class was used to being dragged into Mion's club activities. Yeah! Came the energetic vibes from here and there. Everyone also knew that the showdown this time involved an utterly fatal punishment game, and they were all very interested in what would happen to whoever lost. Of course, they wanted the thrill of seeing something terrifying. I want the thrill of seeing something terrifying.
Okay, everyone ready? Then I'll go first, alright? Ta-da!
In exaggerated fashion, Mion pulled the lid off her multi-tiered ornate bento box. Multiple cheers of joy erupted at the brilliant sight.
That's amazing! It's just like New Year's food.
It can't be. It has to be a lie. She must have switched the contents with the catered bento. Such purely Japanese cooking. Mion Sonozaki couldn't possibly make this.
Nope, this is easy for Mi-chan if she gets serious. She almost never gets serious, though.
Just who do you think this old man is? Given enough time and ingredients, I could even reproduce the Manchuhan Imperial Fest.
The entire classroom gulped audibly, and everyone wrote down a score on the notepaper in their hands simultaneously. It made sense. Just the visual impact would give her a perfect score.
Alright, let's see Rena's next. Rena's really good at cooking, too. Rena's bento is always like a flower arrangement.
Thanks, everyone. I'll reveal my bento now. Hey.
Yeah, boy.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking of the cicada again. Rena's bento was a beautiful mix of the 2 colors of eggs and minced meat, and it too was a bento staple, the Soboro bento. She had been thorough with the side dishes as well, and they were abundant in number. She had spent more time than usual on it, but it was unassuming and truly nonchalant. One couldn't ignore the household warmth in it that Mion's bento lacked.
If I may say, you've done it again. This should get quite a high score.
I should have known. It may look rigid, but there isn't anything to deduct points from. Amazing as always.
Once again, every one of the judges wrote a score on their notepaper at the same time. There seemed to be some who were revising their opinions when they compared it to Mion's score too. The whole classroom seemed split between Mion and Rena, and on everyone's face it was clear that they all wanted to be tasting them rather than scoring them.
Then we'll be next.
Yes. I will now reveal mine.
Come to think of it, Satoko and Rika-chan ate with me last night at my house. It was impressive that they still made a bento. Both their bentos were clearly lacking compared to Mion's artfulness and Rena's perfection. However, because of that, you could sense from them how hard they worked. The toppings were a little on the rough side, but you could still feel that they tried their hardest. It made you feel a little biased so that you'd give them more points. Few people struck by just that, once again, revised their opinions and wrote in scores on their notepaper. Satoko, Rika-chan, you both made really good bentos today. They might not measure up to Ren or Mion's craftsmanship, but when you think about that, they're pretty amazing. Satoko and Rika-chan glanced at each other and grinned happily.
Is a secret, okay?
What? What? When Satoko told me, I broke off from the others and secretly looked for my classmates' bento boxes. There, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun's bento boxes. I took a quick peek inside and... half the contents were missing. Not bad! In the end, Satoko and Rika-chan hadn't made bento today. A bold move. They got Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun to share their bentos with them. Were these the kids from the contest? From...
Yes.
Oh my god.
They also go to our school.
God. Hey, Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, how did they buy you out? Oh, what gross shit.
What are you saying, Mayabara-san? Why did we get bought out, and for what?
That's right, they had crushes on them.
That's right! It's not like we traded from our duty watering the garden for half our bentos!
Curse you, Satoko. What an impotent trick! Satoko grinned, showing her fang-like canines and laughed in triumph.
Redacted Cat is playing Borderlands 3!
Wow! Awesome!
Oh, this is only something I learned from you, Keiichi-san. Oh!
Yes. Oh ho ho.
How naive! Buying them out with watering duty alone. They're men. If you're going to buy them out, you need to use something a lot spicier than that. And weird. For example. I won't read that.
We're not reading that.
Okay, I thought about weird things and then they clapped me back into reality.
Alright, next up is Kei-chan's bento. We're all hoping for something pretty great because of your declaration yesterday, but how did it really turn out?
Keiichi-kun can do it if he needs to. Rena was really excited for today.
They're all looking forward to it, but it's really just leftovers from dinner last night. I didn't even make it either. How was that supposed to stand up to Mion and Rena and the others? That's it. Feast your eyes on this. Ha! Ha! I tore the lid off my bento box. There weren't very many cheers. Well, I guess there wouldn't be.
Keiichi-kun, you tried your hardest too. Rena can tell how hard you worked.
Rena, don't feel like you need to compliment me.
How did this happen? Was Keiichi-san actually a hard worker after all?
Well, I mean, I want to acknowledge how hard you tried, but
For this showdown, it doesn't matter. Mion's cold, mean laugh. It was like it spoke for everyone's opinion, just like that.
Keiichi-kun did really well considering it was his first challenge, you know? I think maybe everyone should rate his a little higher.
but for the showdown, it doesn't matter. Alright, Kei-chan, if you have any last words before we tally up the results, I'll listen to them now.
What do you mean by last words?
I mean that you might be hoping for a few extra points if you appeal somehow to the crowd. After all, for today's showdown, you just need to avoid coming in last. If you do well enough, then maybe you'll be able to worm out of the punishment game.
You're implying that Keiichi-san's bento is going to take last place, aren't you?
No, this old man wasn't trying to say anyone's bento came in last or anything.
Mion cackled repulsively. In contrast, Satoko's smile was growing somehow awkward. Oh, right. This bento was filled with last night's side dishes. It means it was basically a bento that Satoko made. And Mion outright said it would come in last place.
You being a little mean? Poor Keiichi-kun.
Rena, Kei-chan knew he couldn't lose today's bento showdown beforehand, didn't he? He did all that grandstanding yesterday, well aware of that. I don't think there's any reason to go easy on him, do you? Right, Satoko?
Yes, you are right. And he came here with this mess. It makes me laugh. Oh! Wait, Satoko-chan, you can't laugh at him. But that bento is so ridiculous, I just can't help but laugh. These side dishes look like they were bought from a shop. It's really disillusioning.
Oh, Satoko.
Look, this one was just taken out of a can, wasn't it? This cucumber here isn't cut cleanly, like the knife didn't go all the way through. Kei-chan, you never used a knife, did you? Your lack of experience is apparent.
Beyond the simple lack of experience.
The presentation is fairly monotonous as well. It's almost a shock to see such a lack of taste. It was my first experience putting food into a bento box, so of course it's not going to look too good. Kei-chan, there's a bigger problem than how you put it into the box. Tomita Okamura, explain, please. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun were chosen from our many underclassmen. Tomita-kun quickly adjusted his glasses and took a step forward.
The fatal flaw in...
Yeah.
Actually, no, I was the other one. You were the one with glasses.
Alright.
Yes, I remember that. I just forget them. I get them mixed up all the goddamn time. They're basically the same character.
They are. The fatal flaw in Meibara-san's bento. It's the coloration. As you know, there are 3 primary colors forming the basis of all colors. So if you want a well-balanced color scheme, then excluding white and black, you need those 3 colors.
And nevertheless, if you remove the white and black from my Abata-san's bento, all that would be left is dark green.
Ah, dark green. No one will want to eat if you describe it like that. I had forgotten. Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun had been bought out by Rika-chan and Satoko, so they were trying their hardest to let them win and make me lose, weren't they? God, what strong wills they have. It was charming, if only because they were working so hard despite having been bought out.
The side dishes have no spirit in them either. They're all pre-packaged or canned food.
In other words, out of the 3 necessary requirements for a bento, love, spirit, and taste, we can assert that Meibara-san's bento is lacking 2 of these.
The classroom, convinced by the elucidation of the mystery they were thoroughly baffled with, raised mysterious groans of admiration.
No heart and no spirit. It's decided then. Keiichi Maibara.
This may sound cold, but if you realized how much fun cooking is because of all this, Keiichi-kun, isn't that enough? Enough?
In any case, everything is fine as long as I'm not doing the punishment game.
Rena was giving a dry smile as well.
Been settled, Keiichi-san. You're going to be the one doing the punishment game. Oh ho ho ho!
She laughed in such a vile manner, but she didn't look like she meant it. I knew that Satoko was speaking ill of a bento that she'd practically made herself in front of the whole classroom, and I could tell how painful that laughter was. Okamura-kun said before that this bento lacked spirit, but among all the bento laid out here today, there wasn't a single one with as much spirit as this one. This meal that she made for me yesterday in such a good mood, though it looked like she was in a bad one. I won't let it end with this slander.
Then, last place, Keiichi-san. Please admit your honest defeat already.
Could you wait just a moment? When I began to speak in a low voice, the expressions of all the members of the club changed. Mion clicked her tongue. This man was baring his fangs at the last moment again. My bento was defeated because it lacked spirit. That's how you explained it. Am I wrong, Okamura-kun? Okamura-kun, who had suddenly been placed in the spotlight, looked flustered for a moment, but immediately he stammered in reply that I was right. Oh my god, we get to see him! Wow!
There he is. There's Keiichi Maibara.
There's my stupid son who I hate! I hate him! How do you measure spirit? By difficulty? By effort? By sweat or tears? By its manifestation? Then how would you rate these burns that are still on my hands?
Keiichi-kun, those are oil burns?
Great! The burn marks from when I almost caused a fire yesterday looked just like I was having a ton of trouble cooking. Look at Rika-chan. She's about to, like, murder someone. I could clearly... Nipa. You motherfucker. I could clearly tell that the classroom was forced to acknowledge the effort I put into it.
I see. To turn your failures at cooking due to lack of skill into scars of hard work instead. As I thought, I cannot falter around this man.
That's right. I lack skill. I'm so bad at cooking that my grandstanding yesterday was pitiful. But I didn't run away. I fought, and I delivered these results. Is that not spirit? What do you think?
Rena wants to acknowledge it. Nobody can keep on going if their defiant spirit doesn't get valued.
The girls in the class started to nod in agreement. Okay, the tables are turning. But Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun, bought out by the objects of their unrequited affection, weren't about to lose either. They shifted to the counterattack, clearly exceeding the price they were paid.
I see. I understand your feelings, my Bada-san. However, if spirit was all that mattered in cooking, the world wouldn't need chefs.
That's right. If a chef brought you burned steak and said they put their spirit into it and tried hard, would you pay them? You wouldn't, would you? It's the same thing.
That's right, that's how it goes. The male students took Tomita and Okamura's side. God, they did have a point. What about consideration? Even if you did get a totally black steak, if I knew how much the mother who made it struggled, I would eat it. I would eat it all. This time, the female students in the class took my side. Good! Now we're even.
Besides, a bento is a refinement of one's love given form.
It only means something when the other person feels that way. Does your bento make us feel that way, Mayabara-san? No, it doesn't make me feel that way.
You're mean! You're mean!
The girls in the class began to boo loudly at his remark. Now even Okamura-san was panicking.
Order. Will the spectators please refrain from making remarks?
Your Honor, in order to prove how much of my spirit has gone into this bento, I call Miss Ryugu Rena, an authority in the culinary arts, to the stand.
Bento has spirit in it. It might be rather artless in places, but I think cooking isn't just about outward appearances.
The girls in the class again gave cries of support as they all applauded. In response, all the men in the class began to boo.
Your Honor, the opinions of my Bada-san and Ryuga-san are extremely sentimental and aren't following with common sense. They are unsuitable.
Facts, not feelings.
They are unsuitable to use as evidence. Order. The prosecution's objection is sustained. Go ahead. Let's replace the bento in question with a birthday present, for example. Let's say on my birthday, I, Tomita, received a hand-knitted sweater. And he, Okamura, received a bookstore gift certificate for 10,000 yen.
That felt strangely real. Was it actually just an example?
Common sense dictates which of them has the spirit. It is, of course, the hand-knitted sweater. If we went back to the bento, this would be handmade side dishes. And the gift certificate, which is nothing more than money, allows you to buy things. In other words, it's the same as simple, meaningless canned goods.
The boys and girls all began to argue amongst themselves about presents. They were all talking about what they received as presents in the past. Damn. Tomita-kun. He changed the subject to something that could easily grab everyone's attention. Not bad. I'll lose the initiative at this rate. Objection! This matter regards spirit put into the bento. It is entirely different from birthday presents, as they are each unique situations.
Overruled. Will the prosecution please continue?
Damn!
Now then, what's important here is the fact that the spirit of the giver and spirit of the receiver are totally different. Between the handmade sweater that looks a little bit askew and the 10,000 yen bookstore gift certificate placed here before your very eyes, which would you say is the better choice? The gift certificate, right? It's 10,000 yen! 10,000! Can you calculate how many comic books you could buy with that? You could instantly complete a full collection if it was around 10 volumes long. Dozens of happy, humorous manga.
Oh,
The
redact.
bliss of your soothed heart can't be compared to the sweater.
The boys unanimously praised that with applause. Materialistic brats. But all guys that age are like that. Even I would choose the gift certificate over the sweater in that case. Hey,
Having
wait.
trouble with Borderlands 3 redacted.
Redacted is having trouble. Hey, wait! Weren't you guys the ones who said it was about love, spirit, and taste right at the start? Since when did taste trump all? That's the stance they were taking now. I believe this has demonstrated that the spirit of the giver and the spirit of the receiver have no causal relationship. Yes! No matter how much Maibata-san struggled to make this bento, that cannot enter into consideration for the rest of us on the receiving end. Mere sophistry. Sophistry. I've never heard that word in my life. It's plenty of spirit. Whether that gets through or not is the receiver's problem.
That's right. Boo!
Taste is most important.
Enemy of women.
What was that? Now the courtroom is in chaos, but I can't allow myself to lose, and not only to avoid the punishment game, but also to protect Satoko's honor.
Now then, do the defendants have a response to give?
Slowly and strongly, I nod and step up to the dais. We've had this conversation before. Dais. Tomita-kun, Okamura-kun, do you two really think you can beat me with mere words? The prosecution just said that we should value the gift without basing it on the spirit of the giver, correct? At some point I began speaking formally. Yes, that's right. No matter how much you labor to make that bento, that labor should not factor into our grading. Then I have a question for the prosecution. If I, Maibata, were to take the bento I made for today and placed it beside one bought from the store, would both of these be given the same score? The prosecution hesitated to speak. Got you. That's right! A convenience store bento doesn't even come close to a homemade one. No matter how badly made it is, it has far more spirit than a bento that you just bought would ever have. You see, that spirit is being graded, meaning the spirit the cook put into the bento has already reached the recipients. Admit it. Boo! With those impactful words drawn in the air behind me, I pointed my finger. The girls, led by Rena, broke into applause. Some of the boys were admitting it too. When did Ace Attorney come out?
Long after this.
Okay, gotcha. Some of the boys were admitting
at
it
least
too.
a few years. Oh, the first Ace Attorney came out in 2001?
Really?
Really? I thought it was like 2006 or so.
Crazy.
I think it'd be around the same time then.
Well, I mean, these CGs were made probably after Ace Attorney came out.
Oh, well, the CGs specifically, yes. I could see it being an Ace Attorney reference.
Okay. Yeah, then probably.
I thought we were talking about the writing.
Nah. I'll admit it. You admitted it? You admitted it, right? Then let's move to why a convenience store bento has no spirit in it. What exactly is the spirit in a bento in the first place?
Objection! Maibata-san is trying to deceive the court by using abstract expressions. Thank you, Space.
Objection overruled. This sounds interesting, so listen until it's done. Got them. Now I'll show you two the difference between us, Your Honor. I'd like to call Miss Rika Furude to the stand as a witness.
Meep.
Even for Rika-chan, that must have seemed like a bolt from the blue. There's no doubt that she never dreamed the point of my spear would be aiming at her. But Rika-chan, you said it before. For this showdown, it doesn't matter. Rika Furude-san, your bento today was very well made. It looks delicious.
Me?
Yes. Satoko and Rika-chan's bentos had been made of half of Tomita-kun's and Okamura-kun's. The prosecutor's faces turned pale, but they were too late. Ren, would you bring Okamura-kun's bento over here?
Okay, sure. Your Honor, my bento has no relevance to this case.
Overruled. Your Honor, I submit Okamura-kun's bento box as evidence. Look at it. Look at what's inside.
There's only half in there.
It's not about whether there's half. Please, look a little more closely. See? Ah! They're exactly the same! Your Honor, you've seen it. Miss Rika Furude's bento is stolen from Okamura-kun's. There is no way such a thing could have spirit in it.
But just a coincidence.
It's already obvious. Spirit! It's a game of catch between the giver and the receiver. The bento box, then, is the ball. That bento was something Okamura-kun was given from mother to son. That means Okamura-kun is the only one who can feel the spirit from his bento box. Now that it's been disturbed and been stolen, it no longer has that spirit. Dun dun dun. Yay, that did it. I'm putting my whole pussy into this voice acting,
Huh?
I'm sorry.
No, I like it. What? Is that true? Rika-chan, is that true?
Me. I see how it is.
Mion, the judge, folded her arms and began to hum. I couldn't even take a guess as to what Mion was laughing about. Frankly, I didn't know whether I would win or lose.
Okay, before announcing my judgment, I'll start from the top.
Shh. The entire classroom was quiet.
First, from an objective standpoint, there is no doubt that the bento of the accused, Keiichi Maibata, must be seen as poorly made. This is something that the grading results clearly display. But, as Kei-chan said, cooking is not all about taste. The spirit put into it should be considered subtle seasoning. For grading, though, that would only amount to a few points. It's so subtle that it's not enough to alter the results. Ugh. Now then,
I'd like... Thank you for that clip. I'd like to mention the original... Sorry. I'd like to mention the original reason for today's bento showdown.
what was the reason for it? That's right. We started it to see whether the accused, Keiichi Maibata, could cook for himself and to measure the result.
Right? Keiichi-kun did make his own bento.
That stung my conscience a bit, but for the showdown, it didn't matter.
So, the whole basis behind this showdown was to cook a meal for yourself. In other words, whether or not the meal was homemade. Rika-chan neglected to do that is a much bigger problem than how good her bento is. In other words, is she disqualified? Nippa!
I'm in
Rika-chan,
danger.
Rika-chan let out a nippa, looking as though she had prepared herself for this outcome. Don't take it personally, Rika-chan. At our club, things like that don't matter.
Keiichi did well, like I thought. You tried your hardest until the very end.
Rika-chan demanded I lower my head, then she pet it.
Nipa.
It's crazy how something so iconic to Rika's character as Nipa only appears in episode 3.
It's
or like
so-
it doesn't appear until now.
It's so weird. Also, thank you
It's
for
so
the,
iconic.
for Moonpie saying nippa.
With that over with, this case is closed. Today, last place goes to Rika Furude!
That miraculous turnaround, and last place went to Rika-chan, the one everyone had least expected. The whole classroom went wild.
Amazed you managed to avoid coming in last place with such a terrible bento.
Satoko looked at me hatefully, but spoke in a vague kind of voice. There's no way I'd come in last. There's nothing. Why are you souping? There's nothing in this bento that would deserve last place. Deserve.
But It's all poorly made side dishes and canned goods, and has no style, and...
Grab! Satoko was speaking more and more poorly of herself as time went on, so I roughly grabbed her head and began stroking it. I told you! Spirit is important! This bento isn't all about appearance, it's got all kinds of flavors in it!
But spirit isn't the only thing. It tastes totally weird, and...
What about it is weird? I thought it was great! It was absolutely great! That's why I packed it! If dinner last night had been bad, then I would never have brought it to school. Keiichi, shut up. I would have come here with some bread and a milk carton.
But...
Just shut up already. I caressed her head, swinging it from side to side. They love each other so much. At some point, Rena had come up behind us. She was giggling to herself. That was the face of someone who had known everything from the beginning. When did you realize I hadn't made it? Oh, you got cut out. Big time for that.
No. When
Okay.
you showed us your burns, I guess? I mean, there's nothing in your bento that you needed oil for. Renaissance, don't you think you're misunderstanding something? I didn't do anything. Huh? Satoko-chan, you weren't the one who made this bento? Then did Keiichi couldn't make it by himself after all? Okay, then I guess he did.
Rena smiled roguishly and turned from Satoko to me.
When you cut cucumbers, you hold the knife and go like this. As for the colors, you can express all sorts of things if you place vegetables in the right way.
This lecture was clearly not meant for me.
But you've gotten a lot better since the last time you showed us. I see you've been studying. If you keep this up, I bet you'll be able to make better and better dishes in no time.
She continued saying words clearly meant for Satoko while facing me instead. Satoko was wearing an ambiguous look and couldn't even nod her head at her. Anyway, no matter what anyone says, I like the way my bento is today. I'm not gonna share it with anyone else either. I'll eat the whole thing by myself.
Wow, how greedy. Rena wants to try some too.
As we were going back and forth, Satoko rubbed her eyes as though she was drowsy, then announced to Mion and everyone else.
Excuse me. The truth is, I got Tomita-san to give me some of his bento.
Stupid! Hojo, what are you saying? If she'd kept it a secret, then at least she would have been saved. Tomita-kun looked at her with an expression filled with regret and surprise. Huh? Is that true? Really? Oh my! Mion spun her finger around, then pointed to the hallway, sentencing Satoko to the punishment game as well. Satoko left the classroom behind her, completely prepared, as though she was going with Rika-chan on an errand.
Can't let Rika go alone. I will accompany her to the very depths of hell.
You don't need to go that far.
My word, Keiichi-san is really terrible too. Humiliating only Rika like that. He truly is a rotten person.
I didn't mean... I couldn't just return Satoko's kindness with malice.
Hey, Satoko really is silly.
Rika-chan spoke so that only I could hear her, or hear, grinning happily.
And let us be off, Rika. Punishment games are one of our duties as club members.
Satoko seemed awfully happy, not frustrated in the slightest, like she always was when she lost. Damn. Rika-chan's right after all. Everyone here is a moron! Mion! I'll come clean too! I knew it. I didn't make my bento today. I was the same, so I'm going with them, for the punishment game. Huh? Even you, Kei-chan? What's going on?
Good luck.
Good
With
luck.
the punishment game, I mean. I'll get the first aid kit ready.
Call an ambulance in advance, will you? And maybe a hearse, just in case. Leaving a bewildered Mion and a happy, smiling Rena behind in the classroom, I went into the hallway.
What are you doing? You finally won for once. I had no idea you had such an odd taste for these punishment games, and you got so far as to volunteer yourself for one.
Guess so. It's a little much for a hobby, eh?
I swear. I think you're underestimating this one. We're one thing, but grave harm we're one thing, but grave harm might actually befall you, Keiichi-san. I hope you're ready to have 1 or 2 ribs broken.
Ugh, that sounds like it would hurt. I don't like getting hurt.
Keiichi-san, you just stand there and nod along, okay?
True space.
Rika and I will smooth it over. I can't believe I had to look after you even during a punishment game. Seriously.
I already knew that her pouty behavior was a sign that she was actually in a really good mood, so it made me want to smile. Hey, I do want to eat some vegetable stir fries. Satoko, can you make that?
What? Well, there's nothing I can't do if I put my mind to it.
She can make it very well. I really like Satoko's stir-fry.
She was uneasy at first, but when she got assurance from Rika-chan, she turned back and looked at me with once more confident eyes. It's settled then. Let's go shopping for stuff after school today. I don't really have any idea what to buy after all.
That is true, isn't it? I think it's still too early for you to go shopping at the supermarket, Keiichi-san. It would make me anxious if I wasn't watching.
And Satoko makes me anxious that she'll buy the wrong thing if I'm not watching.
Rika!
Meep!
The conversation continued as we walked until we arrived before the door to the teacher's lounge. Okay, let's get this punishment game over with and discuss the menu for tonight.
Meep!
Rika-chan gleefully grabbed onto my arm. In turn, I pulled Satoko to me, grabbing her shoulder with my other hand. We'll all be together in death. I won't let anyone die alone.
We're all together. I won't let anybody die alone.
What an indiscreet thing to say. I want no part in something so disturbing.
She may have sounded annoyed, but she was so happy it was gonna make me blush. Alright, just beyond this door is the world after death. However, we shall return. All of us will.
Yes, everyone will. Then let us sally forth. I have this theory that the person who did the translation for this initially may have been British.
Oh,
'Cause
for
who says
sure.
things like daft or sally forth?
Yeah, no, a lot of the way they say things in this game, they are stupid British. So I think you are correct. We opened the doorway to the world of death, and like she did every day, just as the sun rose in the eastern sky, Jie-sensei was eating curry for lunch. It was store-bought, but she made a point of eating a different brand every day. Oh, my Barakun, Furude-san and Hojo-san. Is something the matter? She appeared to be in the middle of a moment of supreme bliss, her mouth full of her beloved curry, and we were to pick a fight with her. What a crime this punishment game would be. However, it was what we had to do. For that was the rule of our club. Oh god, I gotta order curry next time I order food. The three of us held each other's shoulders tightly once more. Alright, let's do this. Ready?
What do you mean, ready? Keiichi-san, you're going to stay quiet. Rika and I will handle everything. Entrust your life to me for now.
This has been the scariest thing in this game series so far.
Go for it. Yay.
Fluttershy ass.
Yeah, that's the voice I'm doing for her. What are you all doing? We could see 2 or 3 question marks popping up above the teacher's head. Alright, Satoko. This is the only time I'll trust you with my life. Because I'll be shutting my eyes tightly and only thinking about what we'll be having for dinner. I'm leaving it to you. Satoko inhaled deeply, and so...
You up there! You stuck-up curry snob! You're single because you smell like garlic!
And then we
dead.
died. Death. I like how...
Game over.
Hang on. I need to do something.
Uh-huh.
Cool. In the end, it doesn't even matter. There you go. 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 2 in a row. My selfish request was readily granted. As Satoko muttered complaints under her breath, God damn it, quite merrily she came with me to the store. Rika-chan didn't come with us. She said she had a thing she wanted to do or something. I believed her when she told me, but when I really thought about it, I started to think maybe she was being considerate towards Satoko in her own way. Without Rika-chan here, Satoko was prouder and more loquacious than ever. Okay. I don't know what that means, but it's a new word. Cool.
Ooh, new background. Look at this store.
Look at this store. Makes me want to draw a background.
Cabbages.
Cabbages.
There's boxes of things called the.
I'm trying to read any of that kanji. The one of the kanji looks kind of familiar. What is that? That is, that's Gohan. That's rice next to it. Left. Gohan. Or Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. Oh.
Do you understand?
No.
Supermarkets will put things on sale when it gets near closing time. For example, you can't have a stir fry without pork.
Yeah,
and if you wait a little longer, it'll be marked half off. That doesn't work anymore, unfortunately.
No.
They can't sell meat or fish once it's not fresh anymore. So they make it all cheaper in a last-ditch effort to not have anything left over. Of course, every veteran housewife is familiar with this concept. And when we get close to happy hour, like we are now...
I wasn't really listening to her, but she was telling me all this quite proudly. Every time I seemed surprised at something, or made an affirmative grunt in place of conversation, Satoko would say, "You don't know anything, do you, Keiichi-san?" and smile very happily, in spite of her complaints. She led me by the hand to all sorts of stalls, one after the other. She was in such a supreme mood that just being with her cheered me up. Merely being pulled into Satoko's pace was a lot of fun. Hey, why don't we just go out with this economy-sized pack? Whoa, there's a real good-looking one with cheese in it over here.
Kate-san, you have no financial sense. Look at this. It's over our budget. We don't have enough money.
Satoko pushed a handful of receipts in my face. Pfft. Why can't Satoko do these kinds of mental calculations when she's at school? Drat! Should we buy a load of the normal ones or buy fewer of the better stuff with the cheese in it? This is quite troubling.
Down. For boys at your age, it's wiser to choose quantity over quality.
God, Satoko, you're being too strict. A man's heart desires both quality and quantity. Why can't you understand that?
No matter the size of a man's heart, his wallet won't be any bigger. I swear. Hey, stop clinging to the glass so stubbornly.
After enjoying ourselves in such an exchange, we started to hear energetic voices coming from over by the butcher we visited earlier. Oh, moon pie food time. I could see a handful of housewives flooding the place.
Oh. If we don't hurry, all the half-off pork will be gone.
All the harf will be gone.
Sorry.
No, it was funny. Ow, don't pull me. Don't pull on my neck. Satoko really seemed like she was having fun. She looked like a kid who had grabbed her family's hands while running towards an amusement park attraction. In the end, the bag of pork we obtained was so normal that it almost hurt, but I forgot to do my stupid "in the end it doesn't even matter" joke. I knew that it would taste absolutely delicious. Outside, at some point, the cicadas had been replaced by... Well, hold on. Aren't cicadas and Higurashis the same thing?
Specifically speaking, a Higurashi is a specific kind of, like, evening cicada.
Oh. Well, I guess the more you know. Outside, at some point, the cicadas had been replaced by the Higurashi's chorus. The air was so clear, and it felt so good. Our silhouettes stretching out on the ground made for a really wonderful picture. We had filled our bicycle baskets to the brim with our shopping bags. They only contained ingredients and various other foodstuffs. Even so, every last thing packed in them sort of looked really happy. Every last thing packed in them sort of looked really happy, and made me feel really happy in turn. Your groceries looked happy, I see. Going shopping for dinner seems pretty sensible, too. It makes you really enjoy your meals. I can't wait to eat. This is true. I think the key to happiness is, like, taking time to, like, do stuff. Like, when you, like, if you're able, like, if you have the time to do stuff, like, instead of just having, like, microwave meals, if you're able to, like, you know, prepare all the ingredients and stuff, that makes, it feels better. This is a Higurashi. Oh, we're learning. But, I don't know. I'm thinking of Senshi from Dungeon Meshi. He has some good advice about life.
Oh.
Yes. Can't wait
Love
to
him.
eat. I love Senshi. I miss Dungeon Meshi. I want to watch more.
It's a part of cooking for yourself as well. Dinner starts while you're shopping for it.
I'm so excited for this. Vegetable stir fry isn't even in my mom's cookbook. What? Well, I mean, I guess it's pretty simple. I never get to eat it unless we go out to a Chinese place, so I'm really looking forward to it today. Ugh.
That is indeed a pity. Then today I will present you an especially tasty dish. I read that it's salty at first.
That would be good too.
Yeah, it would.
Normally, right about now was the time I would start messing with her, but I didn't. Yeah, I bet you'll end up making something really great. I'm really looking forward to it. When I had to go out this week for the first time in like forever, I got a walnut crunch from Timmy's, and God, it felt so awesome to have. Fuck yes.
I'm so happy for you.
Oh, fuck yeah. Literally $1, but it was the best thing I had all day. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
yeah. Now, okay, I need to elaborate on my thoughts earlier slightly. I read this Tumblr post that was like, yeah, like, if you are, like, spending your day-to-day, like, not really taking the time to, like, prepare meals or take more time to, like, take care of things and do things, like, that are tactile and things, every day sort of melds together, and that can cause you to get depressed. You need to do more things with your hands, and it helps you. It really does.
Vacuum your carpet.
Yeah, even things like that, like just moving around, wiping down like surfaces, like dusting stuff, going outside. Like there's this post I saw that was like, I'm doing the self-care act. It's called buying a nice pastry and sitting outside and breathing deeply. And I'm like, no, that's the shit, man.
It's so true.
It's so true.
I know British people talk about Greg's a lot. And it used to be really good. And one of my favorite things, which I can't do anymore because they took it off the menu,
Damn.
was to get a meat and potato pasty.
Mm-hmm.
And just fucking sit outside the store with it. Because they had like a windowsill that was big enough to act as a bench,
Oh hell yeah.
and I'd just eat my fucking pasty and watch the people go by, and that shit's healing, dog. You gotta go outside.
That shit is healing. Like, what? Okay, one more thing I'm gonna say before we continue. Some ritual I used to do, when I lived in California. I lived near this cemetery on a hill, and it was really nice. And there was a gas station nearby that I would walk to. I would go get a cookie ice cream sandwich. And I would get it, and I would go and I'd sit in the cemetery and eat my little cookie sandwich. Not every day or not very often, but when I was like, I need to heal myself, I would go get a little cookie ice cream sandwich, eat it in the cemetery, and enjoy the breeze. And it was amazing. It's healing. Self-care, everybody. Go eat an ice cream sandwich in a cemetery. It'll help you.
I think that it's really sad that like Western views of a cemetery and stuff is like, ew, that's creepy and el scaro.
No.
And it's like, no, just go have a picnic in there. Be in the nature.
I wish I could have a picnic at a cemetery. I don't think you're allowed to do shit like that. I would do it. Be with the people. With the people. With the memories of the people. Yeah. No, I love cemeteries. Cemeteries are so calming to me. I love them. I bet you'll end up making something real great. I'm looking forward to it. Brah. She stammered for a second. Satoko had been prepared for me to start making fun of her right then, too. And when it didn't come, she was surprised.
I'm sorry, there's something really funny about a Dairy Queen next to a cemetery.
Yeah, Sketch, do it! Do it! Do it! I mean, we have this... Because around here, I guess a lot of people just, stay in the area. We have this huge fucking cemetery that I remember I went to at one point, and there was a point where no matter what direction I looked in, I couldn't see, like, the edge of the cemetery. And I was like, damn, this is so fucking big. And it's just, like, it's just amongst everything. It's crazy. I want to go back to that cemetery. It was so big. Or maybe she stammered for some other reason. I don't know. But I immediately knew she wasn't feeling anything bad. Also, hey, Sketch, I don't think I've seen you in a bit.
Deliver an extraordinarily delectable dish. You better look forward to it.
As Satoko and I rode back on our bikes, I had a thought. Was I this sort of person? Until now, I would have lashed back at Satoko right away if she did something to me. Yeah, that was the kind of relationship we had. We would poke at each other a little, then kick up a storm while nitpicking at one another. At some point, that had changed. We weren't playing our usual tit for tat. I didn't provoke her, so we didn't fight. That went for Satoko, too. Satoko, who I thought I knew, hadn't been like this until now. Our relationship was changing, little by little. That's what it felt like. But it wasn't something I had to worry about. It was like our relationship had become a little bit happier, a little bit more charming. I wonder why we changed like this. Was she lonely and projecting her older brother Satoshi, who hadn't returned home, onto me? Absolutely! Rika-chan told me about that yesterday. That was probably exactly it. So, as my actions drew closer to Satoshi's, Satoko was returning to how she'd been when she was living happily with her brother. In other words...
This isn't the first time when Keiichi's actions have been compared to Satoshi's.
You're right. It was more so...
In Chapter 1...
Yep.
Sorry, this is just to remind other people.
Oh, yeah.
In Chapter 1, when Keiichi was starting to get really scared of his friends, he started practicing with a baseball bat.
That was
Satoshi's.
Satoshi's.
Which was revealed to be Satoshi's.
Mm-hmm.
And Rena was begging to know why he was doing all the same stuff that Satoshi did.
Yeah. Yep. Also, thank you for the follow, and Meowdy! Krem. Can I call you Krem? I just like Krem. Isn't that like a Donkey Kong thing? Kremlin? I don't know.
Yeah, Kremlin.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. In other words, the Satoko was the real Satoko. Satoko had been able to see her brother again and had finally gone back to normal. Now that I'd been playing the role of her brother, I discovered that she really could smile so sweetly. But I wasn't Satoshi Hojo. I was Keiichi Maibata, a totally different person. I couldn't become her brother. I could come close, but I could never really get there. That was vaguely, somehow, a little sad. I was wearing Satoshi's mantle, and that would have to come off one day. And that would doubtlessly put an end to this meager, nostalgic, peaceful time of Satoko's. A limited tranquility. A tranquility that would end one day. Putting it in those terms, it really was sad. I shook my head firmly and drove off those pointless thoughts.
Keiichi-san?
Oh, it only caught Keiichi-san. I don't know why Discord is gating your voice so much.
I have the fucking, noise suppression off.
That's so strange. I don't
Okay,
know.
if I clap my hands, does it pick it up?
Nope. Oh, wait, it caught that one. Caught one.
So why is it... Okay, let me turn it on and off.
Maybe.
There. Maybe resetting it will help some. I don't know.
I'm reading Sketch's thing. My name is brother name. I love jumping on graves. God.
So mean, though. That's grave.
That's silly. Sorry, it's nothing.
If it's nothing, then please don't act all strange like that. It makes me worried that you might have eaten something rotten.
Right. Sorry, Satoko. Nagging like always, but she still seemed really happy. That mood of hers drew me in, putting a smile on my own face. Hey, Keiichi Maibata, why don't we quit thinking about this having to end one day? If it will, then just think about it when that happens. There was one thing, however, that I could say for sure. As long as I smiled like this, Satoko's own smile would never wane. So as long as I stay this way, this tranquility would never end. Satoshi would come back one day too. That might happen a lot further away than I'd like, but until that day, what's wrong with me being a replacement for him? Saying that I'm not a real brother, so I can't become Satoshi, that was just an excuse. If I just didn't run away, Satoko would stay happy and live a fun life of annoyed nitpicking. I don't know what happened to Satoshi, or what made him abandon Satoko and run away, but just seeing Satoko in such a good mood made me think I could persevere as long as I needed to. So this is what I thought. I wouldn't become Satoshi. I would become a replacement brother. This is it! This is the kind of stir-fry I was waiting for. It's great! It's absolutely great! Salt and pepper in the broth, man! I could eat an entire pot of this.
Stop that, Keiichi-san. You're spilling food everywhere. The food isn't going to run away. You don't need to eat it so fast.
No, it will run away. The best and freshest flavors are running away from the moment the meal is completed. If you were to make 100 delicious things, then I would have a duty to taste every one of them. It's just good manners to do so.
Your feelings are more than enough. So calm down and enjoy your food.
You're right. I'm sorry. No insults here. I meekly scratched my head, then put down my chopsticks and laughed along with her like it was funny. I ended up doing most of the eating. Satoko was barely taking a bite. She seemed satisfied just by watching me enjoy the food so much. Whenever I filled my mouth with one more of her delicious meal, Satoko looked glad and let me enjoy the food even more. In this way, she kept smiling happily the whole time. Looking at her made me really happy as well. The time passed softly and gently, before I would have gone back and forth hurling insults with Satoko. In other words, she would have gotten into a fight right away. I'd never known I could feel such peace of mind by talking to her honestly like this. Wow, Keiichi is learning to not be shitty to his friends who are children. I was a little bit happy about having discovered this new side of Satoko. For example, I was eating food that Satoko had made. There wasn't an inch of me that thought it was suspicious. Before, however, Satoko would have definitely put some sort of trap into this. I think I ate too much. I'm gonna take a dump. That's really polite to say at dinner time.
Hey, Keiichi-san.
Yeah.
It's bad manners to say such words during a meal.
You took the words right out of my mouth. And what should I say? I'm going to the restroom. The bathroom. Yes! I'm going to the bathroom. The toilet? The lavatory? Satoko looked down, her face bright red, and pointed down the hallway as if to say, just go already. Whoops! My old habits seem to have come back, but yeah. This wasn't all that bad either. No weird schemes, everything is just natural. And while having such utterly unguarded thoughts, I went into the bathroom. Tug. My foot caught on something string-like. Huh? Oh!
You fool.
You fool. You let your guard down. I'm going to the shitter. I'm sorry, I just remembered a stupid fucking joke from the movie The Island. Where this like dude at a bar was like, I'm gonna go take a dump at the I'm going to the can, and then like what's his face? Just not used to the real world at all because he was on the island and he escaped. Is like, oh my god, Ewan McGregor. That's it. Was like, oh my god, this guy, he's gonna take a dump to a can. That's so fucking awesome. Anyway, a kettle, a wash tub. Satsuko! She got me. I can't believe her. She always does this when I let my guard down. I can't relax for a minute around her. So it was kind of funny. I didn't really feel like getting angry. Satoko, laughing uproariously, came over.
See? See? I knew you would fall for it sooner or later.
Why, you little... I let my guard down for 1 second, and this is what I get? Picked up the wash tubs that had crashed onto my head and went to go hit Satoko with it. But then I doubled over with the laughter that was being... That was been welling up within me, so I couldn't manage it.
Typo in the group chat.
I wished things could go on forever like this. Yeah, Moonpie is real now. Moonpie is real. She moves and stuff with my mouse, actually. It's not like I was having the most fun since coming to Hinamizawa or anything, but it was probably the first time that I'd spent my day so simply and comfortably. It really wasn't worth much. It was only a few hours, after all. As an only child, it was my first taste of having a sibling. Just washing dishes with her felt really nice. Side by side, we washed with the experienced Satoko doing most of the work as I threw in appropriate words to add to the conversation. The scene was so commonplace, and yet so mild and warm. Maybe I'd felt this kind of warmth before, too, in the past. I think I've stood next to the sink with my mother like this when I was little. It made me feel nostalgic when I remembered it. It was the same sort of slow, easy time. It was tranquil. Such a quiet tranquility that the fact I wasn't uneasy about anything itself almost made me uneasy. Hey, wait, Keiji Maibata. You feel uneasy about something just from spending time so leisurely? It's nothing at all to feel uneasy about. I mean, why would I be punished for enjoying a gentle life? I do anything to keep these days going, and I would never do anything bad, no matter what. I work hard for it and endure much for it. So God, it's not much of a dream to want this kind of thing to keep on going, but can't you grant it?
On the telephone? Who could it be at this hour?
Oh, you're right. I hadn't noticed until she mentioned it. I hurried to stand up and ran to the phone. Who could it be at a time like this? I did feel a little like the phone had interrupted my happy moment, but I still wanted to brag about how happy the time I was spending made me, no matter who it was on the other side. Hello? This is Maibata speaking.
Hello? Keiichi? It's your mother.
Oh, hello, Mom. What is it? It's pretty late. That was a little cold of me when she was only calling because she was worried about her son. I couldn't help but give myself a dry smile.
It sounds like you're doing just fine for yourself. I was worried that you couldn't make dinner and went to bed hungry.
Nah, it worked out.
Did you make dinner properly? What did you have tonight?
It was vegetable stir-fry, rice, and miso soup. Bought stuff for it at the supermarket, plus a whole bunch of side dishes just for fun. Oh, yeah, listen to this. I got the pork during the sale and got it half off. The things a housewife knows, right? And also, all of that was thanks to Satoko, and not something I should be proud about. But still, I couldn't help but want to boast about the dinner tonight. It seemed like Mom got the hint that I was in a really good mood.
I see. I'm so relieved that you're doing just fine. Oh, yes, another thing. Your dad and I finished up with our job. We think we'd be back tomorrow afternoon or evening.
I see.
You did well for 2 nights. We've been pulling all-nighters, too. It was a lot of work, but we managed to fill the gap in your dad's mentor event.
Cool. That's good. Well done. Why did my parents coming home seem so disappointing? I knew a little bit of the reason, of course. This tranquility I never wanted to end was about to end so readily, and it was a little painful. After being asked what kind of souvenir I wanted from Tokyo and replying that anything edible would be great, I put down the receiver and Satoko appeared, having finished cleaning up her trap. At first, Satoko was in a very good mood, but when she saw me put down the receiver with an uncertain expression, her own clouded over a bit. She looks like a fucking gremlin right now. What do you mean? Oh, there you go. It seemed like she'd gotten the gist of what my phone conversation had been about.
Was that your parents, Keiichi-san?
Yeah, Mom says they'll be back tomorrow.
Well, good then. I won't have to go to the trouble of making dinner tomorrow. Now you can enjoy your meals with just your family.
No, that's not it. When I think about the dull, plain dinner table coming back tomorrow, it's a little lonely.
You sure do live in luxury. A family sitting around the dinner table is the most fun way to enjoy a meal, after all.
Her brother Satoshi running away from home came to mind immediately, but there was no gloom in the way she said it.
It was only for 2 days, but they were very enjoyable dinners.
Well then, next time I'll go to your house to visit.
Huh?
Satoko momentarily made a happy smile, but then a second later it changed to an expression of surprise.
My house is small and it's dirty, and the kitchen isn't as good as this one.
Well, I don't mind, but, well, if you don't want to, then I won't. Oh, stretch. Oh, Satoko shook her head firmly, her whole body expressing denial. I gotta get you to teach me a whole bunch more stuff, too. I finally managed to figure out how to use the rice cooker and how to cook miso soup, after all.
That's right, isn't it? Perhaps we should use this opportunity to have you learn more about cooking.
It was so like Satoko to take this chance to proclaim that it was all for my sake, but there was no way to conceal her own enthusiasm. It was true that this gentle time would come to an end when my parents got back. There is no need to lament that, though. I can easily put in the effort to continue our mild moments like this. Like yesterday, Satoko told me she didn't need to be escorted home, but Rika-chan wasn't with her tonight. She would be going home by herself. Everyone knew everyone else's face here in Hinamizawa, so it wasn't like it was dangerous to go out at night, but it still wasn't good to send a girl on her way all alone. At the very least, that's what I thought as Satoko's older brother. I'll take you as far as the school, at least. There's more lights over in that direction anyway.
It's really fine, alright? If someone bad shows up, I'll take them down with one finger.
There was no point in pressing her any more on the subject, so I took a handful of Satoko's hair and rubbed her head vigorously. Come on, Satoko, don't complain so much. Your Nini will bring you part of the way there. That's what I was about to say when I suddenly got embarrassed and my voice trailed off. Nini could only be the nickname Satoko gave her older brother and nothing else. I was about to use it pretty lightly, so I started to feel apologetic and a little ashamed.
Nini?
What did Satoko just say?
Well, Keiichi-san just seems like an older brother. That is what I said. It's not quite right, but you seem kind of alike, so I just...
Satoko laughed awkwardly and turned red in the face. Of course, I was embarrassed when I saw her too, because the fact that I was trying to act like her older brother had gotten across. A warm feeling spread out from my chest. It was completely different from romantic feelings, or any of those more impatient emotions. It was much more graceful, quiet, and warm, and calm. Satoko still needed her Nini. I had initially thought Rika-chan was being sly by not coming today, but when I thought about it like this, sly, I could feel a kind thoughtfulness of her worrying about a good friend's feelings. Maybe Rika-chan had understood that she couldn't play the part of a brother herself. So then... No, let's stop there, Keiichi Mabara. There's no point in thinking about it so hard. It means everyone feels the same way. It means everyone wants Satoko to be happy. Satoko is acting as though her Nini running away from home didn't bother her at all. Even though that wasn't actually the case. She was very sad, and always waiting for him to come home. Because Satoko was a stable person when she was his sister. In order for her to really be this level-headed, having a brother was something she couldn't do without. In other words, Satoko still needed a brother. Nobody had the right to smile it away as childish immaturity. In fact, they deserved praise for being so close to each other as siblings. That role of brother should be played by her real Nini, by Satoshi, but unfortunately he wasn't there, or here. So since I'm here, I'll play the part. And not with a guilty conscience, but in a very natural way. Because... was there something wrong with seeing Satoko smile so happily?
Keiichi-san, you've been smirking for quite a while now.
Is it weird for me to look happy?
It isn't weird or anything, but, well...
The sound of the motor on her bike light was too loud and I couldn't hear what Satoko said. Motor? Huh? What? What did you say?
Nothing. You really are just like Nini, you know? Keiichi-san?
Is that right?
Of course, you're completely different from my real Nini. But, like, there's things. Things that you do the same. It's really a mystery.
The same. Do you feel lonely when you remember Nini? Once I said that, I thought for a moment that was absolutely the wrong thing to say, but Satoko didn't seem to mind one bit.
I'm lonely. Since Keiichi-san is being my Nini for me right now. Well, I...
As I was flustered for a moment at her hitting the mark, Satoko suddenly asked me a question in a calm voice. It was very quiet, composed, an adult question.
Was it Rika?
It was quiet, but her voice sounded lonely somehow.
Didn't Rika ask you to act like my Nini for me?
Is that what you think?
Please don't take offense. Rika is strangely considerate of me, but it really doesn't bother me that much.
I could say for sure that at least was a lie. Yesterday and today, Satoko had been so happy spending time like this with me as siblings, and that was proof itself that she was lying about it not getting to her. So I gave Satoko a light poke in the head. You're thinking too much, dummy. I'm me, Keiichi Maibara. I'm not your Nini, not Satoshi Hojo.
I know that.
Despite her saying that, her expression seemed a little lonesome. At this point, Satoko herself had realized that her question had been the wrong thing to say. We didn't need to keep talking about something that Satoko regretted. So in order to cut the conversation short, I grabbed Satoko's head and pet her. Let's not talk about silly things like that. It's getting late, so get back home, brush your teeth, and go to bed. And rinse your mouth before sleeping, too. It'll keep you from getting a cold. What? Will it?
You're one to talk, Nini. Be sure to brush your teeth, okay? Rinse your mouth and wash your hands and get your books ready tomorrow and...
I wonder what kind of siblings Satoko and Satoshi were. I've never seen them together, but I could say without a doubt that they were really close. As for the way in which they were close, it was probably quite like this. And then her head turned into the moon. It was so cool that the day's heat seemed like a lie, and yet the moonlight was somehow faintly warm. The quiet chorus of the insects was pleasing to the ears. The cricket. That must be the end of the chapter, right?
It is. I wish that we'd have ended it like a couple of seconds earlier so that the loop ended right there.
God.
Of the music.
Right,
We
yeah.
don't need to read that.
Alright. Oh, yeah, no, from the title... Trials and tribulations.
Now, I'd really like it if we continued, because there's some good stuff coming up, I'm pretty sure. But, like, also, don't feel pressured if you think we should just end it for today.
I still gotta do my bonus game.
That's
so.
all good. You go do your bones.
My bones. But I still have to figure out what I'm playing. So, guys, I'm gonna do
What the hell is this being caring shit? It's called maturing as a person. It's called growing.
My older brother
called
stabbed me with
maybe
a
you-
screwdriver. I don't know. I don't have an older brother, so...
Maybe it's like when you start out your journey as a character and like you're kind of a shithead, but as time goes on you get better about it or something like that.
I don't think
Hero's
Trials and Tribulations is an Ace Attorney reference. I think that's a law reference.
Yeah.
I think that's a reference to the justice system. I'm sorry, I need to make a stupid joke. Like a person who's only ever played Ace Attorney, getting some real Ace Attorney vibes. Brother, that is just a reference to the court system. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Space, you're so right. That is what growth is, actually.
Oh, I didn't read it. Hang on, I'm making a quick poll.
Trials must be a Destiny reference. Ah, see, this is not true because nothing is a Destiny reference, but Destiny's bad.
Destiny is not bad. It's not a bad.
I had to pay a lot of money for those expansions that I didn't play.
Why did you do that?
I only paid for one because
Oh,
I wanted
okay.
to try it out. And it was very much a, like, oh, well, the game's free to play, but if you want any of the story, you have to pay for it. And then none of
Yeah.
the story made sense anyway. So I was just
because
like, okay, I'm out.
you don't have like the backs. You don't. Yeah. Pokemon.
You can defend it all you want. Destiny 2, as it
as
currently
a game, like the gameplay is good. I think Everything else is like, I wish
Okay,
it.
sure, but if you want the gameplay, you can just go play Warframe. It's a better game, and it does all the same stuff. And like it has a better story, and it's actually free.
Trials of Osiris reference. Yeah, anyway, I made a poll. I made it between Magic Pengel and Pokemon Infinite Fusion, since those have been the most popular bonus games. So if you guys wanna like have an opinion on what bonus game I play, probably gonna play it for like 40-ish minutes, but I should take a break. And Cal, I don't know if you wanted to take off or you wanted to see whatever game I end up playing.
Hey, I'm going to skedaddle because I want to spend time with my partners.
That's fair. I should.
That's right. I have romantic partners, everybody. I have a life outside the stream. I don't just stop existing when I leave.
I do.
That's true.
I stop existing. I hit end stream and I go boop, and gone forever until I stream again. Anyway, let's go over here.
Goodbye, everybody.